Pacific, are they getting tested?
Yeah.
And you can see why. Look at this graphic.
2 matches lost. One was against Sentinels, one was against Heretics. And basically those guys seem to be running into each other all the time. But when I look at this track here, Achilleos, what I'm seeing here is a team that is so put together that even in losses, they find ways to improve and make themselves better. I mean, you can even see, like, once you came out from that loss at Masters Madrid, they hadn't lost since. They were unstoppable, man.
Yeah, I mean, all the way through Shanghai, never falling that lower bracket, making maximum use of that, you know, that grand finals map ban advantage that you get. They were not, you know, they weren't going to squander it like they did the first time out versus Sentinels. It's been an incredible run from this team to have come together at the beginning of this year to pick up a rookie out of solo queue and say, hey, we think you're good enough, come trial with us, pick him up.
Okay.
Become a royal rotor with a victory over and kick off to start things off, then to lift the trophy, you know, after getting already into an international grand final. The year from Gen G has been incredible, and the biggest thing about this team has been the tenacity and the perseverance. They have been nonplussed by everything that is thrown at them.
I'm doing all right.
Games they have to play. Sometimes they do look tired. Sometimes they play
a little
bit
tired,
of a closer series, but
it just comes with the territory.
And that's why I'm not that concerned for them after their last showing, because I didn't think that they particularly looked like their usual selves versus Heretics. I'm not that concerned for them going into the series today.
Quick question, right? You know, Gen G has had an incredible season here, but I am a little like worried because it's like we're here. We're at an elimination game now.
Sure.
Like, what happens if they don't make it through? Because then does it feel like all that kind of fades to the background? I don't personally think it does, but I'm curious to get what you guys.
Hello, everyone.
I mean, obviously, it would be a monstrous.
Let me just tweet this out.
Everybody's expectations coming into this tournament, because they were
I had them winning.
Precisely and clearly the favorite to take this entire trophy. So I think it would sting from that perspective, and there would be a lot of regret and a lot of just like, oh, what if we had done this differently? But ultimately, the year is still insane. For this squad to come together in the way that they have, to be able to achieve what they have in such a short period of time, for Karon to hit 1,000 kills within VCT Pacific in his first season. You cannot take any of that away, but this would certainly be a bit of a blemish on the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we'll see how this all plays out, and I'm excited. Look, Gen G have had an incredible season. Sentinels had an incredible start to their season. Both teams now trying to figure out what they need to do to make it to that next stage in this competition. But for now, though, let's actually take a closer look at things that kind of went south for Gen G in that loss against Heretics. Paperton, I know you have a telestrator you wanted to break down.
Yeah, and Achilleos has a ton of confidence in Gen G, and I'm usually right there with you, but I have some concerns.
Okay.
And I want to take a look at this round. This is round 10 on Bind versus Heretics. Gen G has just taken a timeout, and things go very south very quick. Now I want you to look at this setup.
Whoa, what is this new UI
here. They've got the
for
Yoru
Instagram?
Here. They've already sent a Dizzy through long, and then they're going to launch some util. They're going to throw the Mosh into Garden. They're going to throw a flash into Hookah, and they're going to use a fake out down here. And that's a lot of util, and that's going to buy this rotation. There's already been the quick rotation here from Karon. You know, this is something Gen G is really good at. They want to go from side to side on the map, right? And this is Heretics using that against them. Now,
yeah, the Euro was used really well.
Let's watch a little bit of this and fast forward, because this is mostly just util, but you can see that it keeps Gen G planted, and it's going to keep Karon over here.
Yeah.
But then there's that TP out. So there's that quick rotation that Heretics has available to them, and Munchkin is in an awkward position. Now, he is going to hit a crazy good shot. But he's getting, absolutely destroyed with utility right here, and he's getting backed into U-Haul. Once again, I want to zoom in on the map. And I want you to take a look
control
at what's been identified here, and that's Texture's position. You can see the ping there. There's going to be a Thrash that comes through there as well to keep him in that position. But already, look how fast the rotations are here from Gen G. They're on their way. So this, to me, looks like you've got to set up to wait a little bit and play for a crunch.
I feel like Gen G are favorites, but why can't I hear myself? What the? I feel like Gen G are favorites, but if they get knocked out, who do you have winning chance?
Tries to re-clear showers, but instead opts to challenge for the fight.
Now, if they get knocked out,
rewind it just a little bit. And I want to zoom in.
I think the remaining favorites would be Heretics, Sentinels, and Fnatic. If Sentinels is able to beat Gen G, I think they should be reintroduced into the conversation. I mean, unless Gen G just like flops over today, but
very often from this Gen G squad.
But if Gen G is losing, and not because they just sucked, but because Sentinels plays well, then I think it's worth to reintroduce Sentinels into the conversation. I would say that Fnatic is probably still up there. You might wonder why I'm not putting DRX up there.
mistakes in timings and in
I feel like putting DRX into the conversation of favorites to win the whole tournament would be dishonest, just because it would be heavy recency bias, right? I think it's fine to, like, let's say they go all the way. I think it's fine for that story to be that it's an incredible run that most people didn't originally see coming. And I think up to the playoffs, that narrative should be the one that you stick with for DRX. Just because they beat Fnatic in very convincing fashion, I don't think that's I don't think suddenly it's like, okay, well, that's the match we needed to say that DRX is favorites to win the champs, right? They're looking good. I think there's hope. You know, I think it's worth hoping, but it's also like just every next match that DRX is playing is a new challenge. So I wouldn't go that far. But and I think again, I think it's always important to remember that we don't want to paint recency bias too much. I mean, let's say it's like you know, DRX or Sentinels in the grand finals against like Heretics. I think it's fine for some people to be like, I don't know, I think DRX or Sentinels are the favorites here. I think that's fine, just because now we're in the last match and you've seen the whole progress. But but I would say that up to that point, like the whole point of an upset is that the narrative is that it's an upset, and I think that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm very excited about DRX, but I'm also just being honest. And you know, obviously the team may feel more confident than I am in them, because obviously they know what they're working on, but you know, we can only work off of the results. So I'm excited. I think they've already proven themselves more than expectations. I think they've already exceeded expectations, both coming into champs and within champs already. So I would say, you know, as someone who wants to see them succeed, I'm like, I have no complaints about DRX no matter how it finishes.
Also cause those problems, because, you know, pretty much every player on Gen G is freaking phenomenal. Is Karon, who comes into this a rookie. He's a rookie.
I actually think Sentinel has a good shot at playing really well today. I'm like mildly not concerned, but I am cautious about Gen G.
He has played so many games. Gen G has basically just gone through the most.
I am a little cautious about Gen G. Just because I think Gen G is still going to come into this thinking that their fundamentals and their just core protocols are good enough to get by, I think, in this matchup. And I think Sentinels may be looking to abuse that, so to speak.
No, the only other players I can think of are players on this team. I mean, it's like, that's it. So he's insane.
Maybe Woot.
Yeah. Woot's been incredible. Woot's been absolutely incredible. But I mean, for Karan, he's so good in a lot of different ways. He's extremely talented just at locking down a site, being that anchor. All
right, we're gonna wait for the map draft. Let's change that command. Also, just a heads up, I will probably only be co-streaming this first match today, and then I'll send you guys over to somebody else.
Sometimes the team isn't always there, whatever.
There's a lot of other stuff I need to get through, and I want to make sure I put a video out for EDG versus Paper X tomorrow, and then our in-laws are visiting tomorrow for lunch, and I actually can't stay up all night because I have to go to church in the morning, so I probably won't. We'll see. We'll see how long the match is, but I probably won't. But I feel like this first match shouldn't be that short, so.
Are gonna look like and play a little game of what are the chances?
Look at those thorns. They're a little intrusive.
One is a 90% chance, one's a 50% chance, and one is a 10% chance. None of us know what each other selected. So, Achilleos, you're up first.
Good luck.
All right, let's see if I can remember what I did. I think my 90% chance was a prediction coming into today, which was that GB would enter the show with a comment about him being old or bald. And we got that. You called it the elder counselor or whatever the hell it was.
To be fair, he got set up for that.
I was in the script, man.
Yeah, it was in the script.
I didn't ask him to do that.
That's Mike. That's our writer, Mike.
I just knew that it was going to happen.
All right, what else you got?
That's my 90%.
I think the EDG beating Paper X, this 50%, I'm okay with that. I would agree with that. I think I still favor Paper X, but I think this is actually I think this is possible.
Where's the rain? What's worse than rain?
I got paper. I got paper eggs going forward.
Hurricane force.
I don't know. I got a feeling.
Right now, I think EDG, as close as they were able to play their last series, I think that they.
I think stylistically, Paper X will still handle them, but I don't. I mean,
but let's talk about your.
I think EDG's been looking better and better at countering. That's what I'll say. EDG's been looking better and better in the anti-prep.
During this series, regardless.
I mean, just look at their icebox against G2.
90% chance that I get a heart attack is basically what.
All right. I think
Where's the sunny? Yeah,
that's quite sunny. That's gonna happen.
Sunny,
All right, Paper Thin, you're up next. What you got?
All right, so one of mine's already happened as well.
Okay. Oh boy. I don't know.
I make fun of you guys for being old.
Correct.
Yes. Oh my God.
I mean, that's too easy, man. Put those two together. Begrudging American check. You're only cheering for Sentinels because they're from NA?
Yeah.
And loses his mind on screen, right? No, I think it's actually better than 50, but
he's getting the ace.
he's getting
the ace to qualify for playoffs.
He ain't getting the ace. Qualify for playoffs. Okay, like Shakespeare. What's your 10?
I do love texture.
Sentinels will play Deadlock today.
Oh, yeah.
10% chance that Sentinels will play Deadlock today. Yeah, I think that leaving that at 10% is fine. They shouldn't. I don't think they will.
It's a good agent. There's nothing wrong with it. Just isn't the right fit for them at this time.
Look, as much as I would love to instill fear into the hearts of all the Sentinels fans, I do agree that it's unlikely.
Yeah, I think it's unlikely as well. All right.
I don't know if that's a sunny or a rainy then.
I don't know actually.
The guess and gain for the Korean desk is still doing the guess and gain minigame. Oh look, Eno's in the background. One of the Korean casters.
Lotus is played in Gen G versus Sentinels. I think that's gonna happen.
Yep, I think this is happening 100%. Oh, I mean 50-50. All right.
I think he's gonna be
10% chance that Crew 2-0, not even 2-1. Holy. Although I guess if they are gonna win, they probably have to 2-0.
Is that Crew 2-0's Fnatic? Or 10% chance, excuse me.
That's true. The reason Texture doesn't get aces is because they're so disciplined. The only match I've watched live so far was Trace beating Vitality.
Better than your earlier prediction.
Okay, well, you know what?
The Korean desk, I mean, it's fine. It's chill. There's a little bit more room for a little bit more analysis, but it's mostly stat-based. You know, we're just there to kind of hype it up. It just so happened that when I was on the Korean desk the other day, I was paired with Dongjin, who is one of the Korean commentators, but he's been kind of cheering for the Chinese teams a lot. He's been going to bat for them quite a bit. You know, he's kind of the Ryan Central of the Korean casters. So it just so happened to work out that, you know, he's always kind of going to bat for the Chinese teams, and I'm Korean American. So, and that was a day when we had both CN and America matches. So it was fun. We had fun with that.
Gen G make it through, and then you know what? I think it's kind of funny. Crew will win. I'll take your 10%.
Doug is yelling. he's biased. Doug is yelling. He's biased. Just an FYI, which also is kind of
biased
true.
towards
Speaking
comedy.
Let's see the predictions and see how biased Achilleos is. Oh, shocker!
I mean, I didn't actually go for it, but
yeah. Well, I went with
the faith in Sentinels. I mean, I think. Hey, listen. I think if you want to show a little bit of America's support, I think today's the time to do it. I honestly think there is a chance. I don't think it's gonna be that shocking if Sentinels win. It would be an upset, but
they got slapped.
It's always a chance because it just happens.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's true.
Crew is funny. I mean, crew can do it just because they're that one team, IMO, that can do it. Like they can do it. There's no logic. They just do or don't. Yeah, I think Zekken has to be, you know, hot off the bat. I think Tens has been looking good for most of the tournament. Obviously, just overall, the team looks pretty off against Gen G in the opening match. But if Zekken and Tens has been playing quite well. Tens was actually really sick in the FPX match. There's a lot of, like, Tens and Zekken were setting up a lot of infighting, like just staying in the ring, getting close up, like playing almost like Paper X often would, just trying to catch them off guard, but in a passive way, like taking positions that are, you know, like still in the ring. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Both teams have had, you know, some uncharacteristic shakiness.
I know in the past I made this joke about how I've been working out and how I look buff. But at this event, I actually have been working out. And I'm starting to look a little bit bigger.
What is this opening line?
You might think you're working hard right now, but we're working harder.
Okay, that had a good finish.
I think I'm ready to lift this trophy.
I don't know about the trophy shot with the... I guess it only works because it's poster.
So step aside. We're coming.
TRX will get a 2-0 victory over Fnatic. For Fnatic, they still have another life. They still have
The New Jerseys do look nice.
Of course, it feels sad that we lost, but we're still alive in the tournament. All we have to do is beat crew.
Me siento extremadamente confiante y creo que nunca me había sentido tan confiante de mis compañeros que tengo al lado, que cualquiera se puede sacar una ronda y puede dar vuelta a todo y nos da ese como momento.
It would be kind of funny if Tens played a duelist. The Tens Euro coming back out. The Binding comes out. The Euro comes back out.
Dropped us off the tournaments. And now we have a chance for a payback.
Ver que han pasado 3 años, pero de nuevo se va a demostrar que soy mejor duelista que tú.
Ooh. That's a hard line from Kesnet.
We can do this.
I forgot Fnatic was an unfortunate result of Crew's run in 2021.
센티넬과 마드리드 결승전에서 패배를 맛봤을 때 후회가 되는 플레이들이 마구 떠올랐고, 그리고 저 트로피를 내가 들고 싶었는데 라는 생각과 그냥 많이 후회했던 것 같습니다. 그리고 화도 많이 내고.
It was one of the best feelings ever to lift that trophy.
I'm surprised 5% are still correct.
That we can make a repeat of the Madrid Grand Finals.
Oh, you mean 95% of yours? Yeah, you got the FPX in 4th. Damn, the faith in... Actually, I think I eventually had FPX in 4th.
때처럼 둘 중 하나가 집에 가게 될 테니 관객들에게 좋은 경기를 보여주도록 합시다.
Who has the most international... Oh, international event, not champs?
Yeah, their symbol is the tiger. I feel like we're the tiger now, and they're the cat. And we're coming for blood.
It's probably Fnatic. Yeah, XP, you gonna give us the facts? DRX farmed Korea for so long, but they actually missed out on Masters Reykjavik. And then they missed out on both Masters this year. I think that really puts them back. Oh, I like this poster with the wingman, the Sentinel's wingman. I like that one. Well, Crew also didn't make every Masters, though, right? Although Fnatic didn't make every Masters either in 2022. And I guess they didn't make the Masters earlier. I don't know. All right, Lotus Icebox. Gen G's gonna pick the Icebox. Okay. Okay. All right. Instead of the Haven. So I think Gen G, respecting that they're probably gonna get countered on Haven.
I mean, look, it's not a shocker,
but still preferring that for comfort over the bind. I'm okay with that, actually. I'm a little surprised on the Icebox, but I'm okay with it.
Some sense. Gen G continue to not really want to play on Sunset now that they have unveiled that Abyss, but the Ascent ban away from Sentinels, not wanting a repeat of what happened that first time that they did clash, but they elect to go to Lotus, and Gen G goes to Icebox. It's been a strong map overall.
Shoot, what was the...
Very rarely been clean ones.
And I really think this is
what were the sides
pick from Sentinels for a couple reasons. First of all, they haven't played it since May 4th, week 5.
Here, let me set up the predictions for you guys.
That's the last time we saw Icebox from them. They've been widely banning it. However, this was
Jhin
the
versus
Sen.
Map 1, Lotus.
Absolutely destroyed Gen G. This could be them saying, you remember that? You remember that time we did that to you? We're going to do it again here today.
Yeah, but then when you look at Haven...
Yeah, the Icebox first pick is...
Again, there's just so many things.
It's interesting.
Overall, what I'm expecting here, fellas, is a phenomenal matchup. I think both teams, I think Gen G, they're going to wake up. I think they'll go ahead and shake off what happened in the past. Sentinels, they have found their form. They have found
Gen G
their
picked defense
again.
first.
this should be a clash of titans. This should be an absolute war. At least that's what I'm expecting.
Icebox, Genji pick, and then Sentinels did defense
I'm
first.
right there with you that Haven, you know, it was at the Ascent. Those are the maps that they were able to go ahead and take them down on. So I think that in the long term, it could favor them. But
yep, no changes here. That's not surprising.
Big overarching changes whatsoever here. So just going to be straight up. I wasn't sure. Sentinels electing to pick up this Lotus versus Genji. Were they going to have something up their sleeve? Were they going to be trying to bring out the deadlock here? No.
They're just going to play each other straight
Interesting.
through, and I think that is the best way to approach
the Icebox. I wonder if Genji. I wonder if Genji changed their comp there.
It's going to come down to teamwork, and that's what Sentinel showed in their previous match, whereas Genji struggled with that against Heretics. So
yeah, the Icebox is interesting. I think it's hard to see coming. But I think if you're Sentinels, you probably expect that it's a possibility, just because like this is do or die. If it wasn't do or die, if it wasn't a potential elimination match, then I don't think Genji would pick that. But
so let's go ahead and dive into map 1, shall we? We're going to send it over to your casters, two guys who just love commentating some of the biggest games possible.
But it's a bit of a hail. It's a bit of a all in from Genji, right? It's them saying, hey, we need this win. And either it works for you or it doesn't, just because we haven't really seen much from either of them in terms of Icebox.
Away with death of the year, the other continues their pursuit of glory.
Yeah, this is an obnoxious game. I can't believe we're here. I mean, we thought that this group would have been completely different. Genji would have made it through, and maybe Heretics would have been in the spot that Genji is in right now. But
I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I just knowing Genji, I don't know if they would have changed their comp on Icebox. I don't. Quite frankly, I don't know if there was really any reason to change the comp itself. But we'll get to it when we get to it.
The last time these two teams clashed on this map, it was a mirror. It was a 13-7 win for SEN. And oh man, this is going to be.
But we haven't seen it from SEN
this is the tournament that's
all time, so it's been their kind of go-to ban.
This is what players play for. This is what the entire year is about.
All right, Genji starting on the defense. Hold on.
Sentinels on the attacking side of Lotus.
There we go.
You've got Lakia, who's already taken a lot of space towards A. Now taking a step back, but otherwise, Dre, the map very quiet.
Yeah. It's so timid from both sides right now. No one wanting to make an early mistake.
Lakia pushing up forward. Genji making the call that Sentinels is just going to rotate, but Sentinels is actually holding. So Sentinels has learned from the Heretics match as well that Genji wants to clear fast and for sure. So they wait for the push out, but the Prowler kind of gives it away. So now it's Sentinel's turn to re-clear, and Genji has to figure out if they want to default or over-rotate through it. But Genji's learned their lesson a bit. They don't want to over-rotate because that's how Heretics got to them. But it is the pistol, so it's a little tough. So the responses texture is going to push out B main. Okay. Zelsis has a read on this though. This is a very good pistol from Sentinels. Oh, well, texture's on for the kills though. Meteor's dead. The positioning's as good as it can be from Genji, but not anymore.
On to Munchkin. Numbers the way of the attack.
Numbers were already in favor of Sentinels.
It's not getting any better for the #1 seed from the APAC region. Sentinels win the pistol, and very quickly. The last time they played, they won 1 out of the 4 pistols the entire series. They struggled.
And not only that, but it's Zekin getting a 3K into that round, getting momentum. It's something that he couldn't do the last time.
No, they changed the Icebox. They changed the Icebox where they took away the duelist and put texture on Omen.
In Madrid.
They took the Team Liquid comp and it failed miserably. That was the one change.
They need momentum. There's such a
yeah, Sentinels ditched the deadlock against FPX as well. And I mean, it's the way to go. Listen, I don't know if, but I think they will still have to cook a little bit more if they want to go all the way. But here's the thing is that right now you have to survive, and then you get a couple extra days. And I think you just have to go back to the Vipers. It just makes the flowchart so much easier. And you know that you've been matched 50-50 against these guys. I mean, you ended up winning. So both of them have some very similar ideas about how to play Valorant, just like at the core level. So I think Sentinels is just saying, okay, listen, we're not a worse team when we match up that way. So let's just play kind of fair and square, so to speak.
And then they'll cycle smokes on default. This is
Sentinels is on for a flawless here.
Zekin's having such a map
Gen G has to consider this carefully. Do you want to give that? I mean, he's only one away from the showstopper, which is crazy. Well, now he has it. So
I mean, when you have that far of an advantage, you really want to push, and that's exactly what he does. So massive for 2 reasons. You mentioned Sentinels, you mentioned Zekin struggling, and how it's important for him to get back online, get the ball rolling as quickly as possible. And I think he's already doing that, 7-1. But also the showstopper.
Viper's still really good. I mean, Viper just makes Viper just makes
John QT,
understanding the map easier in a team setting.
Zekin falls down there, but he got the showstopper, like you said. And
okay, so showstopper's online. You're all on half armors because Gen G still likes to buy sheriffs, which I don't know. I mean, they get a lot with it, so I guess I can't blame them. But it does hurt them when they're matched up against good teams. Zekin's on a friggin' heater, and you guys are right. I mean, getting Zekin onto the Raze is huge here for Sentinels.
Right past the autumn, if I'm not
I think that was probably part of the call for Icebox as well from Gen G.
Seemingly wise to it.
But get him away from the Raze. That's probably why they banned out the bind as well. I think that might be, in all honesty, maybe that could be what it is. That Gen G wants to guarantee 2 maps out of 3 where Zekin's not going to be playing the Raze. Oh, you are donezo. It's not even the showstopper that gets it.
Fully commit to this. It seems like they might, though. Tens is already TP'd all the way across.
Positions are pretty good, though. Well,
mowing over Gen G.
I thought Texture was peeking here and Meteor was peeking elsewhere.
Texture just ran into.
I mean, he swings, and it's the most terrifying thing you could imagine.
It was diabolical.
And so now, as the dust settles and as the rest of the round kind of comes to a close, you see Sentinels with a really big advantage.
So Gen G's trying to play more. Gen G's trying to play more cautious after the Heretics game, and they're giving Sentinel all the time and space.
This is the Sentinels that was missing a couple of days ago. This was the Sentinels that was missing in the opening match of this tournament.
Yeah, missing in stage 2. Honestly, even in the playoff, they barely squeaked in. Salsis gets the quick trade, securing the round. Getting closer to that ultimate, and yeah, Zekin wasn't the one that
the
got
eagle
that
flows
kill.
through.
But
suddenly I whip out my passport. I'm like, I was never Korean. I've always been American.
Sniffing out Munchkin. And yeah, there's not much you can do in a spot like that against a showstopper and a Spectre.
No, I mean, you mentioned it. He needed to be careful. That was just that's a brutal one and done spot.
Yeah. And losing the bonus round, it could be.
Why would you pick defense?
So bad. Your economy feels
I think Gen G to get comfy.
That being said, it's going to be light armors again across the board right now, and a showstopper of his own.
And to read how Sentinels wants to play the game today.
See if he's able to replicate any of that success. Maybe that's the tipping factor here.
4-man stack on A for Gen G. They don't have any information again. This smoke, I mean, no one's even peeking out, but this smoke, like, Sentinels does this a lot, by the way. Sentinels does this a lot. And Gen G needs to deny the free info on C Mound. Like, you don't want to waste util fighting for it, but you want them to work for it. This whole idea of, hey, we can just delay with the Poison Cloud and the Nanoswarms,
all that C control was already gathered.
it is very clear. Sentinels has already disrupted it at a minute mark. Again, 3 rounds out of 4.
You gotta be careful here too. There's a brutal
so this isn't the way to do it.
But once again, fully sending out onto C. Saucy will be the first to fall as Munchkin manages to find
Munchkin's going to just run rampant with the Stinger, though.
Anything, but Munchkin
that's an overcommit from Sentinels. Oh.
Falls on it. It's just John left in a 1v4, and they're weak, but not that weak. A thrifty round for Gen G.
So basically, Sentinels is thinking the same thing that I was saying Gen G should fix, of like, hey, we already broke it again. There's no more util on C. They're on an eco. We can get in. But this time, I mean, it's just Munchkin, but he has the snake bite. That's the difference in the previous round. The previous round, it was Texture and Meteor, so there was an extra delay, but the snake bite still helps. It's a good extra smoke in from Charon. And that's how they...
There was never any doubt.
Oh, that was HSK coughing. I was like, whoa, Doug, are you okay?
They're not the team to roll over. They're not the team to...
and that's how Gen G always holds it well, is when the Viper is able to rotate over. Which means if you want to keep doing that, you do need to push this hard. And Sentinels will probably figure that out soon, because that's what Gen G always does, is the Viper
going in series, I noticed.
Viper Killjoy.
Sometimes, they'll go down I don't know, 4 or 5 rounds, and then they'll bring it all the way back and even secure out the map if that. But if not, they can reverse sweep at any moment.
Sure.
They're trying to deny the Nanoswarms again. I honestly think for Sentinels, if you wanted to pressure this one more time, I think just throwing the paint shells would have been worth it, but they're not going
such
to.
a high level, both of them. It
Especially
feels
with
like
Zekken being
we're
so
truly
low.
watching,
That would
it's
at
just
least
a
put
chess match
infinite
right now. It's just
infinite
battle
pressure.
back
Now
and
the
forth
alarm
over
bot's
lanes.
refreshed. Good adjustment in from
Sentinels will
Gen G.
take space here. Gen G will take space
Okay,
there.
they're gonna look to
This
clear
tit
out
for
Rubble. It
tat,
is a
blow
double
for
team.
blow. The rotation.
This alarm bot's allowing for a lot of the early rotates again. This is good from Gen G. Paranoia to delay. Oh, okay. Okay, traded though.
Back towards B. Both Paranoias have been traded.
So because the Viper's down, they want to go through the Killjoy util, and also because Meteor is low.
That KJ utility.
The KJ util is buying time.
Idea that's where the hit is, but with 30 seconds left,
But Meteor can't fill it anymore.
Tends the tip of the spear, TPing forward.
This is rough.
A little bit separated.
what
How
the?
in the world does Meteor win that? Saucy with the swing on the trade.
3v3.
Nicely done. And now with 3v3.
Yeah, clear close.
As
Texture's already in. They don't know that. Texture's already in. He's got a timing.
First to fight,
The reload.
first to find a kill.
He wanted
As
both.
has been the case, instantly traded right back 2v2
It's
now.
still a 2v2.
Saucy has his eye.
Whoa.
Lockheed has no health left.
Trying to get over
It's
the.
Karen alone. He's been good.
Oh my gosh.
Head
He has
and
no
shoulders
idea
above
though.
the rest.
He has
But can
no
he
idea
deliver
where he's
here?
at.
Against John QT.
Oh,
No, we cannot.
nice
The leader for
try.
Sentinels delivers once more.
I mean, it was trade for trade the entire way through. It came down to a 1v1. It's that chess match I was talking about. This is going to be such a close series if it continues.
Yeah, no, this
onward
round
like
was
this.
well played from both.
But now,
Good
it's
adjustments from both
available
sides.
For the side of Sentinels, here's the replay of the trading on site.
I mean, I think Munchkin's positioning on B Heaven was a little bit like he couldn't quite make up his mind if he wanted to still keep rotating or not, but
And again, we talked about this when we saw them play against FPX.
But at the end of the day, it's well played from both.
Right? When Sentinels have been good, John has
okay, so the
delivered.
turret switches
That's a big
position.
moment
You've
for
still
him
got the
early
alarm
on.
bot,
Getting your IG on the flow
and then you're just gonna put Charon up here
early on.
with a
Starts getting the
Guardian.
kills.
Really, alone with a Guardian?
Start getting better reads.
Oh man.
Oh, they've got him figured out. They
that was-
spotted
yeah,
him.
that was a
And the
tough one.
half armor. They know that Gen G is
They're in
gonna
the
greed
previous
for the
round,
next
too.
buy. This is a
And Sentinels have a good idea of when a player's
Real
playing
good
pushed up
read.
like that, and they're solo to go through the door, the revolving door. No one has met them there yet.
A look back towards A. Texture getting through the ult. He's got a big timing here. A wide swing and two
Okay.
kills found.
good wide swing.
Again, heroics from
No
Texture.
check close.
But the counterpunch comes through at just the right time.
Oh,
Zach
whoa,
is
guys.
down low,
Whoa,
spotting
double team
one,
this.
trying to
Double team
switch to
this.
the
Thank you.
Weaker weaponry, not finding a kill. Now 2v2. The pit invested 10s on the prowl.
The alarm bot's pretty good, but this can get
Alarm
sprayed,
bot
right?
taking
Oh, it's right behind the wall,
A
though.
little bit further back, his meteor waltzes into his
Well,
death.
the alarm
right
bot is
into
now
the
dead,
crosshair of
and
the
Tens is just going to
controller.
hold. There's no reason
Munchkin
not
does
to.
the same.
Tens too fast in these moments.
I mean, you say
Holding
he
the
shouldn't have
angles.
re-smoked it, but here's the thing, that he was already left on an island.
tough
I
round to
think
win
Gen
if
G was
Gen G
assuming that
texture.
Sen was going to try
He
to
went
work the
huge
map
in that
again,
moment,
because they
getting
always
two,
have
swinging
been
out
every time you've
super
pressured it.
wide. Look at this.
So there was no
Such a
extra
wide
support for him.
swing.
It was either
How
dry
many
peek
times have
and
we watched Gen G and
get
seen
overwhelmed,
Texture
or
do
smoke
something
off and then
that?
peek. Like, it's one or the other.
Do
I mean, we
something
see
where
that Sen
they're
already has
getting
crept
2Ks
through,
and
but he has no
3Ks.
idea.
Most instances where somebody gets traded instantly.
Yep.
But that just seems to be one of their
Okay,
strengths.
so it is
one
a
of their
timeout.
strong
I would
suits,
have called
and
the
we're already
timeout
seeing
earlier,
that play
but
out. I think the big difference here is Sentinels are managing to kind of go
Gen G's kind of
toe-to-toe
playing
with that,
and
where
getting
they
in their
haven't
own
been
head,
able to
though. I
in
think
the
that's what I would
Yeah,
tell
they
the
figured
players
out
is
the
that, like,
spacing
you're
game,
thinking,
right? The
you're
problems
trying
they
to,
had
you've got
against
countered the
FPX
first
early
couple
on in the
rounds, and
first
now you're
round.
trying to get
Yeah,
ahead of
it's
it
carrying
and
over. They
playing your own
fixed
mind
it.
games
They
against
fixed that
Sentinels.
problem. There's
Whereas
spaces
Sentinels
on
is just
point.
playing,
They're getting trades.
they're
Even
just
if a
waiting
player
for you
gets
to
two,
make
they're able
actions,
to,
and then they
you know,
just
bring it all
react
the
to
way
it, right?
back.
So
And it's going to be an early timeout for Gen G. Remember, the only round they've won so far was that Thrifty off the back of Munchkin. He got 4 kills into that round, 1 showstopper kill from Texture.
the other problem is an Odin hasn't
Other than
come
that,
out,
it's
which
very
makes the
close, right?
options
You
on
have
A
a
side a
1v1.
lot weaker.
Karen versus John QT. In this case, it was a 2v2, but Tens. I mean, he just held down that opposite
So I think
side
you
of the
still
Viper
have
pit
to
that John
contest
QT
for A
put
a
down.
little bit if you want to fight it at all, but
Again, it feels like for Gen G, part of their calling card has been delivering in the big moments. And again, anybody on that roster can deliver. Locky is a guy that we don't really talk about a ton, but
Sen's
he's
gonna fight
just
for
as
C
good,
mound
just as
control
forward
because
in
it's a
those
weaker
high
round.
pressure moments. Again, I think the big difference here is that Sentinels have been able to respond and deliver with a couple of their own.
They're not really getting picked off early either.
All right, positioning Meteor
that's
to
huge.
kind of try to combat this.
That's part of the 4-round difference here. On the
Dude,
other side of
Haunt,
the timeout,
Prowler,
with the
and
adjustments,
Smoke
you've
to
got
take
3
mound
ults on the
control
side of the defense.
because they're confident they can always re-clear Rubble.
Now.
This is something that Gen G has to understand, is that
Again, sweeping a
like
little bit
Gen G's
further,
basically
Munson clearing up the turret.
losing
now the round right
because they're a step behind every time.
I mean, the approach from Sentinels on this attacking half
But
has been
right
so
now it's a half buy.
calculated, so
I'm okay with that. Although
clearly
it's
do
like
not wanna give
you are
anything
buying
away
down
early
for
on to
half
Gen G.
armors, so I don't know.
Remember, that's that.
I guess going for I guess you are going for an op the next round
One way just sucks to get through.
instead of building up for the Odin. Huh. I mean, you can buy the Odin as well, but
a B split potentially. That's why you see an alarm
interesting.
bot from Zelsis put all the way in the back of SC.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. But now that they're gonna get the op, so Gen G, I mean, I'm okay with that. So you're probably gonna set up the op on Mound, and then pressure on A.
30 seconds left in the round now as they've invested the lockdown.
Okay,
Now
counter
it's gonna be traded
lockdown,
back for another.
A big investment from
and the
Gen G.
paint shows to deny
Still
it.
a lot of time left to play in the round. The Prowler just got a little bit of info towards A. Second satchel forward and right into his death.
Paranoia as
Are they gonna be able
well.
to
He doesn't
navigate
really
some
have
of
an
this? Zlaki
exit.
is gonna fall in exchange.
Charon
With the
does
time
rotate,
done,
only
they may
12
have burned the
seconds.
candle
Dude,
down
Gen
just a bit
G,
too low.
the counter
They're trying to get
lockdown
ahead
has
of this, but the
actually
reinforcements
done
are
it.
Here, look at Munchkin's positioning.
It's
That's
over.
the plan stopped. That's John QT.
Holy.
Style. The round will go
And
away
the
of
Guardian.
Gen G.
Dude, how is he always getting multi-kills with the
What a round
Guardian,
from
man?
Gen G. What poise to not make any mistakes, not give a single inch to Sentinels, holding all of that A space, not taking the bait on that Killjoy ult.
Yeah, really
What a
patiently
counter ult
played.
from
The
Meteor. What a
counter ult
call.
was timed perfectly.
The gall you have to make a play like that.
And then
when
the
you are
paint
down
shells as well
in the
to
weaponry.
100% deny it.
That's the
But
second
you've been
50
watching
win
C,
already
so
for the
you know
side
that
of
there's
Gen
no
G. If
real
they can get
option.
things
And even
going
if
on
they
this gun
do,
run, they can bring
they
this
can't
one
really
back.
go through the door easily, so they'd have to go all the way around. So time is in your favor. So
this
then all
time,
you're concerned
that
about is
cautious
Mound.
approach from Sentinels. It works
Okay, but the op
against
comes
them.
out. It's going to be
Maybe we're
set
gonna
up
see
for
a change of
Mound.
pace. Here it is.
And then you're just trying to delay
Paranoia
on
already
Rebel.
out.
You're not looking to
The
try to
one-way
fight
goes
and
up,
win
they're
this,
already
though.
past it at this point.
Whoa, okay, whoa. I don't know about
Lockya
this,
might get
Lockya.
caught by Kings. Be
Whoa.
careful. Oh, that Viper wall gets up.
Lockya.
Right on
Calm
time.
down, calm down.
Good awareness in
And
that
they're going to
one.
clear this a lot. Zelsis has a good read on it, but Texture's trying to get ahead of the information. He's trying to get one step ahead.
Saucy's aware of it now.
Oh my,
He's
where
gonna
are
be
you
able to get away.
going?
No,
Where's the
Zelsis
exit? What are we
chases him down.
doing?
Sentinels right now, they have no
He
other
didn't have a
choice
good
than to have to
bounce.
just hold up here. There's still 2 mollies they have to deal with. The showstopper.
I mean,
he gets chipped down very low.
yeah.
He couldn't go.
Will be a free sight.
No, the
Yeah,
positioning was
Spike
good.
should
It's
be
just the
flanking.
exit was
I
rough.
mean, it might be a free sight, but
The
it feels
initial
like they're
position
walking
was
right into
was
Genji's
fine.
trap. Lockya has his ult.
You kind of needed it.
Smoke's already going through. Zekin getting a little bit aggressive, getting the best.
They're doing
lead
that
here,
thing
but
again
still,
that I've said that Sentinels
Nightfall
does,
in
where
play.
they
There it
push
is,
out
right on Q tap.
for extra reach.
You've got John who's playing his tight angle.
And Gen
managing
G's
to
not
stay
ready
alive with
for
the
it.
help of the nade, sure. Swinging out into Lockya, but not able to convert. He's now left in a 1v3. He's cutting his losses. He's tucking tail. He's getting out of there.
Yeah, he's got to save. What proactivity from Sentinels in that moment. Tens holding
Yeah,
on
I
to
don't know what that
paranoia,
exit was. It looked like he
shooting it through
considered
water.
going to
Zekin
door.
Getting aggressive in that moment. And amongst all the chaos, when the retake is coming through, when the
I'm
flood
not
is
really
actually
sure.
happening,
There must have been some
Sentinels are
weird call
peaking
going
together.
on.
They're not sitting back waiting for the fight to come to them. They're picking really good opportunities to fight together. And the trades are going their way. Full confidence
Lockya Sova.
right now for Sen. It was a change of pace at the start of the round.
I think Gen G's going to be more concerned about Icebox and Haven. I think I'm not trying to cope. I just think that those are the maps that like they think they absolutely need to win. I think they're like convinced that they're going to win Icebox. But they are playing. I mean, Sentinels is playing very well. I mean, Sentinels is just outpacing them round to round. You still have another op, right? So you saved up for double ops. I think you still set up. You don't go aggressive this time, though. And then you just rotate the Killjoy over to basically do your delay that you usually do on C,
What is that smoke?
but do it on B. Very interesting. Maybe to hide from a aggressive haunt if there was an A fight.
Yeah, this smoke is, it's good to always bounce forward and just deny that. It also draws out extra util if they want to clear it. But you can basically pinch the Rebel, the top of Rebel. But yeah, so you go for the delay. Now you have op on Mound. They could have pushed through. You need to watch out for that. There you go. Now you're going on. Now you're playing it. Right? So op and then you double team over on B.
I don't know that they really have anywhere to go.
What a shot from Munchkin. That was disgusting.
Okay, now you know that Saucy's here. Whoa, dude, that's a good adjustment from Saucy. Do not push him, man. He's been getting better.
Delivering again.
He's been getting better and better each game they play, this champions.
Saucy might just opt to save. I mean, he's got $350 in the bank. Spike is definitely going to have memories.
No, I mean, I understand why Texture would have panicked, but it is a panic.
Yeah,
right.
I
mean,
go back to the value that Munchkin has been able to provide.
I don't think he was, you know, it's not like he just stopped thinking. He had a reason. I just think it was panic, which is a little bit uncharacteristic, but
map-changing moments, these series-defining instances. It's often multi-kill rounds, and it's often these like
yeah. From the top, no one looking at him. He puts his Viper walls up at the most opportune times. And then he hits shots like that.
Munchkin's getting stable again. And the ops getting kills.
To be IGLing, to be the forefront of your squad at the same time, that is so hard to do. But he's one of those IGLs.
I was wondering if you switch up, but I don't know. Like, the only place I would reposition the op to is actually B for a set play.
Such a big part of their
so instead of peeking out aggressively, they're actually just going to hold this time. You have the showstopper, so you have a way to delay them further if they come in. And you still have the nanoswarms. Killjoy can still come through. Overall, it's not bad. The Viper's pit isn't anywhere nearby, though. But because they see no information anywhere, no other util, you are a little scared. You see the door turning, but nobody's there. And Sentinels has no idea if the ops here are A, because they never actually checked for A, and that is a collab.
Better late than never, I guess.
Oh, he is heating up. Oh, shoot.
On Sentinels. What a round
Oh
from
my
Texture.
dude,
4K
what?
for Genji.
That was unbelievable.
Dude, that third and fourth shot.
And now he's the one at the top.
That last kill.
It's another 4K. But this time it was to save him. Dude, I mean, the collat is like, whatever. I mean, Sen lined up for it. But, dude, this flick, that's a micro flick. And then this, dude, he breaks in time to flick, right? That was sick.
And that's scary right now if you're
Dude, HSK is sick. We got to finish this match fast so he can go rest.
Here and ready to play, still sitting on that showstopper.
And now they switch it up. Now they switch it up over to A, and then you spray down with a double. You are a little overcommitted.
This is the Genji that wins championships.
Well, whoa, Doug. Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet.
And I said it, Doug. Genji are a team that tends to start off a little bit slow.
They do always start off slow. That is also true.
They're unbelievable.
And yes, this is an eco round, but you know we talk so much about.
Was the third shot harder? Because I feel like the third shot you had slightly more time to know for a fact that you could stop fully. I don't know, like counter-stream fully,
Yeah,
but
all of a sudden you have Meteor in the mix of things. We've seen Meteor.
But I guess
on this
the
map play
I guess
Killjoy and just decimate teams by himself.
I guess the distance was a lot smaller, so maybe.
And a hard read here, perfect spray control.
Yeah, the American inside of Doug is creeping up. He's trying to curse him.
Following the tracers all the way back.
What's the number of rounds to make the defensive side a good side? Honestly, I actually am curious. I wonder what the Lotus win rates are right now this year at internationals.
This massive swell of momentum that has currently come up.
But
they've won 3 rounds
I mean, 5 is listen.
And Texture,
5 is fine. I would actually say 5 is probably already pretty good. It used to be, right? Just because attacks seem to be so favored, but
for Sentinels at the beginning of this tournament.
Lotus is attack sided on paper, but I think a lot of teams have figured out how the defense to a T. Both Sentinels and Genji. The Killjoy Viper is so strong on C site, and the B site, the retake is actually so oppressive.
There was that graphic that was flown by the desk. They're 11-2 in their last 13 global matches.
That's obnoxious.
I mean, 6-6 is amazing. I think 5 you're already okay with it, but I think just because you have the momentum, you wanna crush it, and also because Sentinels also has a pretty good defensive side with this comp. So 6-6 would make Genji favored for sure, but I think 5 is already just fine.
Likely Sentinels and Genji would be the ones kind of cruising all the way to the playoffs.
You know, 4 is like on paper, in theory, it's okay, but that's much more dependent on the pistol. Whereas like 5, it's like you could lose the pistol and the eco, and you'd still be okay with it. Okay, so the counter Odin. And this is the one round that they actually push out with a set play. They haven't done this since the pistol.
There's just not a lot that Sentinels can do to fight back.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Latvia gets taken out, but the showstopper.
It was short.
He pulled a second.
But not enough to get the kill.
Oh my gosh.
And a Jing, and basically every other raise in the world.
Moment of respite to reload. Now back to full strength.
Yeah, I think they didn't want to get the op pinned. I don't mind the set play. This is what Gen.G does, is after timeouts, when they're trying to close out a half or a map, they go for big set plays. Karan this time is going to hold close, though, so this is the difference. They're trying to draw their attention away over on B, and they are ready for it.
What was that peek from second, though?
That's a good one from second.
And they're just going to run through the door like they have been this entire time.
Perpendicular walls keeping these two teams apart. As one of them goes down, Munchkin gets ahead of it. Second on the jump spot, they understand the threat that's on the other side, and now they decide to wait.
I mean, what are we doing here with the lockdown, though? What's the idea here, Gen.G? Are you really going to push this? Oh, Odin it. There you go.
It's destroyed, and now Texture not able to hold the line.
Too many people.
The resistance. The pit invested. Munchkin trying to trace over. Snaps back onto Munchkin.
So scrappy.
Meteors left alone. Sentinels get to 7.
I mean, there was an idea here to push forward with the showstopper as much as possible, which is why Lakia gets caught on the Odin. Gen.G kind of getting, they're kind of getting stuck in their own sauce there on that last round. But you know, you're trying to counter the timeout. John just plays this really well, right? He realizes that it's a setup. Oh, dude. I mean, good half from both sides. Good adjustments.
Oh, John, wait, look.
He's doing the animation. Oh, they're doing the.
Probably flashing the bundle or something. I don't know. 7-5.
What? No, he's doing the guys.
Got an interview.
What do you mean he's probably flashing the bundle?
Sentinel standing by right now. Take it away.
These guys, they're not even impressed by the animation.
Hello, everyone. It's the halftime interviews with Bella, and I'm joined by Sentinel
Damn,
CEO,
Rob
Mr.
Moore in
nice
Seoul.
Thank you so much.
네, 센티널 CEO 럽 모 씨와의 인터뷰 준비해봤습니다. 이제 서울 방문한 게 오늘 처음인지 좀 어떻게 이번 챔스 즐기고 계신지 한번 여쭤보겠습니다. Is this your first time in Seoul? How have you been enjoying the city?
This is my first time in Seoul. I think I've already added 5 pounds eating all the great food here.
이 서울 방문은 처음인데 아마 오고 나서 한 2-3kg는
It's Mr. John Sentinel.
얘기를 하십니다. 오늘 센티널 경기 초반에 화력이 아주 좋습니다.
Yeah, no, the game sounds a lot more balanced today.
성장을 잘 해봐서 오늘 멋진 경기 보여주고 있는 센티널 팀은 얼마나 좀 자랑스러운지 한번 여쭤보도록 하겠습니다. You must be proud of how the boys are doing. You know, they started off great. So, how proud are you?
Well, they didn't start off great, but they have made a great recovery.
This is our 4th time playing Gen.G. I'm a little surprised. It's the first time I've ever been in a match where everyone is rooting for the other team.
That's true.
And nobody's wearing a Sentinels jersey today.
Yeah, Sentinels
is. Tens' uncle. Except for Tens' uncle.
That's true. It's not a common occurrence for Sentinels.
그리고 이제 젠지랑 벌써 붙은 게 4번째인데 사실 경기장에 와서 센티널을 응원하는 팀보다 젠지의 관객들로 이렇게 가득 찬 건 또 색다르다고 합니다. 그리고 또 센티널을 응원하고
Oh, his phone isn't showing the graphics covering it.
이거는 이제 센티널의 번들 구매. A minute for you. 그럼 저희는 로터스로 돌아가겠습니다.
Cameraman, you gotta. That's the producer should have called for the cameraman to
for as much as that was
check the phone.
And you know whatnot and fun to.
I mean, we all know what it said.
For a second there, I think he makes a really good point. Sentinels are in a position that they rarely find themselves in.
No, yeah, that's actually a good point. It's not something we talk about a lot, but Sen has always had fans rooting for them. It might be 50-50, but they have always had fans rooting for them. And while a lot of Korean fans like Sentinels, like it's gonna be a Gen.G show today.
And it's been just blow for blow this entire
Yeah,
way
dude,
through.
the observer, man, Prius, gotta observe the phone.
At the same amount. You see
So Sentinels has a layered defense. Oh, this is just a fake out for second. It's hard to read from Gen.G. You can beat Thoro, but it's hard to read. But Gen.G's just looking for this to be the fake anyway. They're going to take the orb.
Gen.G on the pistol, they're already farming the orbs.
And they're thinking the orb now should have secured and made it look like this was a fake.
Oh, a little bit of spam, texture plucked.
Dude, the door break into second peeking.
You know, you keep
I mean, this is a hard pistol round setup from Sentinels. It's hard to read the initial part of that if you're Gen.G.
There are a lot of questions around
We don't see that play. That's not something that teams do on the pistol round. So now you just have to push through. I do think you need a little bit extra space. It's risky, but you need to do it. You need to push him back further, yeah. They're gonna smoke both though. Are you gonna peek? Are you gonna jump out of it? Oh, this is. Oh my, dude, second is.
To his name. Oh, but he's gonna get taken out right here.
Oh, he realizes the reload versus reload is not in his favor. His second has been on one though.
Cleared out now without getting a tag. Tense getting the best of Karan, and now
Munchkin, you gotta push and take the first fight.
Difficult to win, but possible. Just not the case this time. Again, pistols were elusive to them in their first matchup. That's now 2 for 2.
That was close as
That's true. Gen G also didn't have fans until this year. It's a very new experience for both teams. All right, this is just I mean, it's just a mega well set up pistol from Sen. Really. And then Zekken with the sick wallbang with the Sheriff.
Gets that free kill in the beginning.
I mean, this is just.
That Munchkin is in right now. He wants it bad.
It's an incredible pistol round from Sentinels, actually. Dude, the layers to that A-side setup is disgusting for a pistol.
Munchkin does not look nervous at all. He was shaking his head the entire way through. Yeah, these pistol rounds haven't been going their way, but all it takes is one thrifty to get them back on the map, and that's why you see this Vandal. Yep,
full armor Vandal? Holy dude, Gen G has been getting so aggressive recently. They just let the Vandal be heard.
You also have a Marshall on the field for Meteor. It's a 5-man.
They're working off the kills that Munchkin had to get the Vandal for texture. I mean, it's definitely a curveball.
Sentinels are aware now that the Vandal is in full effect. That room of being shot from texture. So that's why they're playing so cautious.
Yeah, Sentinels has no reason to peek this.
Ah,
the tether doesn't quite get him. And nade is also. You should always bounce that.
On Lotus, and it hasn't really been much to speak of, to be honest.
I mean, you just have to commit, but you have to assume that Sentinels knows you're here. Which is why they want to clear this, because they want to dwindle the numbers just a little bit. Oh, that paranoia hits him as well. Oh, you gotta re-clear it. Okay. Now you're stuck. Now you're stuck. You could go back to A. You could go back to A.
All three. Meteor's Marshall finally besting him.
30 seconds left.
But he's now left in a 1v2, upgrading to a Vandal. No armor. Challenged in the smoke. Challenged in the map. Sentinels get to 9.
It was a valiant effort from Gen G into that force buy, and it was looking promising. But Celsius, he stepped up huge in that moment. That little off angle here in the spray down, he knew he had to do this. If you give them the sight, if they are able to upgrade, all of a sudden your chances of winning are drastically lowered.
Hey, look, they laughing now, buddy.
Dude, Munchkin had to just go full swing there. You had to just keep swinging until he's shooting someone else. They all stopped to take the kill. Gen G is playing, dude, and I've noticed this when they're playing against Heretics. They're starting to play kind of like Talon and Paper X, where they like they think they need the kill, which is what they used to not do. That's something that we used to praise them for.
Bodies littering A main. And it's another song of success for Sen City.
It was so hard.
I mean, the revealing the Vandal is the team just not being in sync, right? It's not that he wanted to reveal it. I think it's just, and they're like constant. For whatever, I don't know. Maybe Alex told them that W Gaming is really actually legit, because
I missed my nade and we still won.
It keeps looking like that they are it keeps looking like they're playing as if like, okay, well this time they won't expect the aggression, and it's like, dude, the reason you guys were good was because you didn't do that.
Telsa still with that outlaw that you mentioned, has his ult to play around.
I feel like they're panicking a little bit. Same in Heretics, but I mean, Munchkin buying the Guardian, that one, I wouldn't, don't get worked up about too much. He's done this even when they were winning. Like, he'll be like, I'll hero buy the Guardian. Because next round I can, like, hold with a Judge, or, you know, I can just go for a Guardian again. You know, you're on a loss streak, so you can go half armor Guardian again.
Not giving that much away to Gen G,
so
not giving these 1v1 exchanges.
Munchkin has done this a lot. And Lakia has done this before too. Like Lakia and Munchkin, like buying the Vandal for him and then still buying up again. Like they're okay doing that because they love using the Vandal, and those are positions where they're like, hey, we can just trade and hold certain angles in the post plant, because these are not agents that have to be like running and counter strafing all the time. So that whether it's good or bad objectively is a different question, but it's not like that's not the part that tells me that they're overextending, because they've done this a lot even when they were winning.
Nicely done by Gen.G, but Zelsis still holding the line on the other side. That's now 2 bodies found. The swing of the classic.
Where's the pinch?
Betray him. Back-to-back 3Ks for the Vibe Merchant himself.
He played that to near perfection.
I mean, he really did.
And now tether nade. I mean, yeah, the spike gets planted. Oh, it doesn't even get planted. Oh.
I mean, that's why Munchkin buys the Guardian though, because he oftentimes gets the triple kill there.
That was almost a Munchkin clip.
And remember, last time these two teams played on Lotus, it was a mirror matchup. It was Madrid. It was 13-7 for Sentinels. Gen.G ended up banning that.
Yeah, Sentinels actually did crush them. But again, I'm not too concerned about the match just yet, but I am concerned about the way that Gen.G is losing. I'm actually not too concerned that they're losing the Lotus. I actually think that this is a good pick from Sentinels. But it's the way that Gen.G is. It's the way that you can tell from their movement that they feel like they're out of ideas. That's the concern for me. Oh my gosh, Tens. What a play, man.
The Fox is in the den and Meteor is dead.
Oh man.
They've gotten the spike down, but they've got to realize there's a threat behind him, and it's a considerable one. The Paranoia is going to attack both. Karen's now dead. 2 members.
Texture had to try to push out and get a kill, but he couldn't. Good wraparound from Munchkin. Now they still have to be concerned about A main. Texture has to just fight. Oh, that's a rush. They didn't realize that he was already in.
They have to give up the space. Nobody on the spike yet. Oh, he's got the line. He can hold him back from there.
Good from Lakia. Good from Lakia, man. Draws out the attention. Just play for time. He has to check both angles. No time. But no guns either from Gen.G.
It wasn't looking too good for Gen.G in that moment, but they brought it back. Munchkin, he has no fear in these moments. He came here ready to play. He's the playmaker of their team right now. Yeah,
well, always has been.
Entry, but the impact that Munchkin is getting with some of these frags and trades, it's been crazy. And Lakia,
but I do feel like it's kind of rubbing off on the other players. I think that might be part of it. I don't know.
To get Zek in there.
Well, it was all off of Munchkin's position. And
with Heretics, it felt like Heretics was pressuring them into those situations a lot. But right now, it's like, I don't necessarily think Sentinel's positioning is pressuring them into that, but I think it's just the round losses that's pressuring it.
Stay alive, get to 6.
Either way.
An op in the hands of Zekin.
Good pressure onto Rubble from Gen.G. You're not checking for the C push. They haven't really worked C at all, and this is something I talked about in the video, in my YouTube video, that just Sentinels will get easy control of C. A lot of times they're just jiggling, but this time, because it's such a hard push into Rubble, they're actually going to push out. And you've got backup. So this is multi-layered, because they know that Gen.G would like to re-clear if they do get it. The alarm bot should have heard that, so that should let you know that they're not going to commit to it, but Sentinels is fine with that, because now you can pressure this, you can pressure this, you can pressure this. I mean, you've got every position locked down. Gen.G should consider planting here for Waterfall, but especially now with the op. And okay, they're just going to plant default.
No ults on the side of Sentinels.
They are going to try to take control of stairs, though. Oh my gosh, surely. Thank you.
Only one claimed.
Okay, thank you. Oh, he's not ready for Tens, though.
Still playing out towards stairs.
Yep.
Tens besting him.
You have paint shells.
It's
the only thing you can hope for.
Still in the hands of Zekin. A difficult weapon to pull this off with.
Oh, that paint shell's a little early.
I don't know if he has the tools for this.
He's got to hit the shot here.
Aaron's the first to fall. Texture's by himself. Zekin hits the shot. The defuse comes through. Sentinels get to
this operator.
We said it against FPX. Zekin looked amazing with that operator.
Calm down. Calm down, Gen.G. Do we call a second timeout? I feel like we call a second timeout. I would call a second timeout.
And it's against Meteor. Of all players.
I mean, it's map point anyway, but
timing for Zelsis to crunch up mid.
Yeah, Zelsis was waiting on that alarm bot the entire way through, hoping that somebody would pick off Meteor, allow him to get that timing, and he seconded just that.
Zach.
Yeah, you know what he said.
I read those lips.
Breeders out there, but there were strong words of encouragement towards his teammate.
He said, "I love you so heckin' much for
that's
taking out Meteor."
That's exactly what that was. Gen G call a timeout in the waning moments of this first map.
that was like the most clear lip reading ever.
Elimination written all over the walls. The end of the year for one of these.
No, I think you just need to calm them down. Yeah, just calm them down. Get a couple more rounds. Listen, I think Gen G should look decent on the icebox, and then the Haven is that, and then you reset, and then it's just mid-rounding on Haven. It's not going to be as easy because Sentinels should be prepped for the Haven, but
haven't really looked that great on.
No, I mean Icebox was their perma for forever.
I think both these teams, though, I think they both knew, given how the draft went after the first pick, they both knew that Haven would be map 3. So both of them are looking to absolutely win their map pick. And Sentinels is doing their part, so Gen G just has to focus on doing their part. It's not over yet, though. You have Pit, 2 away from the lockdown. I would love to see them you haven't even really pressured this at all, which is why Sentinels has no reason to move. Okay, now we're gonna, well, just the turret. Okay.
Beautiful eye out from Saucy.
The reason I'd love for them to just put some pressure on C is, okay, well, now the operator, you know, is on B, but it's like, you could at least find out if the Killjoy is set up on C or not. You know what I mean? Like, and Sentinels has a hard read on this after the timeout. I would have said just, you know, just pressure this once. Set up for the long range mind games. She's getting antsy again. Alarm bot. Dude, this is straight up just like texture, go be our scout, clear everything. You be our pressure. It is decent pressure, and you re-cleared, and you know that they haven't taken mound, so you have a way out. Like, it's overall, it's not the worst. It's just that it's B site, and it doesn't feel great. But you know that they have an op.
Yeah, it cost them a little bit of time, but they gladly give that up.
Paint Shell's already used. Pit, though.
Viper's Pit invested as well.
Oh, but 3 people looking for the spam. This is always such a risky post plan, in my opinion. Charon has to get 1, if not 2. And Texture has to stay alive for as long as possible.
Careful here on the crunch. Tens has a paranoia. Karen's going to be the first
Just a bit too far.
The first smoke comes through. The tap of the door, and there's the flash. Is there anything behind it? Texture's the only one who I believe didn't get tagged.
Texture has to stay alive.
Concealed in the green goo.
Texture has to stay alive.
How much more can he find? Oh, no.
Great. Oh, my gosh. Texture.
Obliterates them.
Oh, that positioning. It's such a ballsy position. Oh, man.
What in the hell was that from Texture?
Dude,
he was sitting in that
absolute balls of steel. Holy.
He was stone cold. Everybody whizzing past him. He didn't move the whole
Dude,
time.
he was in the stairs, and they tried spamming right next to it, so then they just start rushing in. They're trying to, like, jump into the pit from above. Really well done. I mean, a little lucky, but also Sen tried to spray him, and he just held his ground, right? Other players would have panicked. It's a Hail Mary, right? But it's not something I would ever do again. But hey, it works. And I think still credit where credit is due that he just doesn't budge. He doesn't overthink it. They're drawing them in. No audio, so you have to play contact. Oh, that paranoia is massive. Yeah, oh my god, pick your angles. Make the 1v1s, guys. Where are the 1v1s? Oh.
8 for Gen G as they stay alive.
It's ridiculous. And a huge investment from Sentinels as well.
So they realize that the B site is empty. This is actually good 2 rounds, right? So they go for it, and then it's an eco, and you don't imagine that you're going to pressure B site again.
Another showstopper online.
So they go for it again. Now you could either be crazy and go for the third time but have a way out into C, or you can just be... So Sentinels is playing smart. They're saying, no, don't get bitten by that. We're not going to over set up on B. We're still just going to focus on our defaults. So it's a good setup from Sen. But Genji's just saying, you still have to have somebody watching it, so we're just going to all-in on the Odin side, though. Dude, Genji just doesn't... They're just playing like C-side doesn't exist. They're just assuming that, hey, the Killjoy is just going to be set up there. It doesn't matter. Oh, that nade. Oh, my. Dude, Texture is mad. What is going on?
Doug, I think Sentinels are crumbling.
I think they have Xavier.
You have to.
Yeah.
I guess this is why Genji has been wanting to play aggressive. Dude, I don't know, man.
They're decimating Sentinels in these last couple of rounds. Texture just decided to just wake up and go.
Yeah, he just gets off the C's and he's like, well, I guess they'll never expect me pushing with 1 HP. Which is, again, this is, just so we're very clear, this is why W Gaming does work if you commit to it. And I'm still not a fan of Genji, like, doing that whenever they start losing rounds, but you do it enough and it's going to start, it starts to get into your opponent's heads for sure.
And Doug, this is why Genji are a championship level team.
No, yeah, they're playing like W Gaming. They're not taking contact anymore. But I do think, so here's the thing, is that I think it's a mix of two things. I think it's that they started respecting Heretics a lot in that matchup where they felt that they needed to change things, but then Heretics actually forced them into that position already. So like Heretics was somewhat already ready for Genji to be playing like this with early util, with more aggression, things like that.
Reckless abandon on the
Did Doug say it again? Dude, these America's casters, man. Riot can't keep getting away with this, man.
Looks like we're due for a Clash A main again. It's a force. This could be a mess.
Genji's gonna just keep doubling up.
Paranoia's traded. Texture's down.
Dude, what is that shot?
And now the ult popped, but it looks like it's a little short. And so both teams refusing to relent on this.
Don't re-clear it. They know that you like to re-clear.
Looking to take us high spots. And barring a miracle for Meteor, that's exactly where we're headed. Genji decided to take the fight where Sentinels have succeeded this entire half, and it was ill-advised. Wow. 13-9 as Lotus goes the way of Sen.
Calm down. Calm down, chat. Calm down.
What a map so far. If this is what we have in store, this is insane.
Genji fought back with ferocious attempts, but it wasn't enough to get him over the finish line. I
mean, listen, OT would have been incredible, but
the guys on Sen
I think those couple rounds where they can say, okay, like it's not our mechanics that are lacking, it's the positioning, right? It's util, it's the timing. I think that's your takeaway. Ay. All right. The Giga Brain caster assignments. It's so funny. Wow, some big Senville leavers in chat though. Congratulations on your Preds. But yeah, so what I was saying is I think Genji, basically their game plan coming into Champions was we need to evolve once more. Right? They evolved with, initially at the beginning of the year, Genji, their idea was, their core philosophy was 1-4 or 4-1 defaults. Use util, right? You use util, then you rotate over. And on the attacking side, the lurk pushes out, you rotate over, then you leave one, you switch back to the 1-4. It was the 1-4-1-4, it was the 1-4-4-1 swap, right? It was the flip-flop in the beginning of the year. Going into the middle of the year and their Shanghai run, it was much more about 1-4, but always re-clear, right? And if the one guy gets pushed back, we push even harder. So we know 100% that we want to rotate over, both on the attack and defense. That was their evolution. And I think basically what happened is that leading up to the Heretics match, they respect Heretics. They think they're going to get countered. So they decide that instead of going for slow contact re-clears to push forward, what we're going to do is just do earlier tactics and dump util, play aggressive, and try to catch an off timing because they think we're going to slow contact them. They think we're going to just swing them, you know, 2 at a time, things like that. But it's not polished enough, and I think with Heretics, they were already trying to force Gen G into this discomfort, so it works out in their favor. But it feels like maybe this is just Gen G trying to evolve and try to stay ahead of the game. Because I'll be very honest, I was very impressed with the small micro adjustments. Like Gen G built a model for this year where they can just barely stay ahead, right? Like you're not trying to just reinvent the entire thing, but you want to be just one step ahead, but not change too much that you can always adapt to whatever your opponents are doing. And their evolution of the 1-4 setups has been actually very interesting. It might be worth going back. Maybe we'll do it in the offseason, going back and no matter where they place and talking about how valuable that can be. But it's funny, right? Because it's funny because, like, for instance, Coach Frost said things like, well, everyone's figured out how to play against the 1-4 setup of Gen G, but that's when they, like, win Shanghai and come back and they still win Stage 2. So, and I don't blame him. I would have said the same thing, right? My argument was always, well, if I can read it, everyone else should be able to read it, right? If I'm able to read it as a caster, then every coach worth their salt should be able to read this. Every IGL worth their salt should be able to read this. But they're just making enough changes in their style that, yes, it's a 1-4 still. Yes, there are lurks, but you're adding like just one layer. So no, I'm not saying it's because of Frost's interview. That was already, Gen G had already evolved by then, but dude, what in the world is that gift? What in the world? But it does feel like right now it's a little not polished. It also, this style does rely on you starting off hot, and they were not doing that in any other games.
An exciting start to our elimination match here today. I'm now joined by Sentinels head coach Kaplan. Now, the map pool was so interesting. You know, the Icebox was left in there. You guys banned a SEN, and then Pig Lotus as well. Are you able to give me any insight as to what the game plan was coming into this map picks and bans?
Yeah, I mean, we just wanted to start on a map we were comfortable on. So while they have a great Lotus, we're really feeling it.
Yeah,
lately.
I think the Lotus was absolutely the pick.
So
I predicted the Lotus pick and the Ascent ban.
Xbox instead of Ascent, honestly, it's out of respect to them. Like they're really good on both maps, and I think Ascent is pretty deep strategically, and it's been a bumpy one for us. I'd rather go to Icebox,
100%.
where I think it's a simpler, scrappier map. We have a chance to throw them off.
I think this is exactly the draft that Sen wanted.
We'll see how it goes.
You know, whether they expected Gen G to pick the Icebox over the Haven in the first picks.
On Icebox before against them.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I love the mind games. Thank you very much, and best of luck.
Thank you.
In the saga of Sentinels versus Gen G, in this iteration, Sentinels strikes first on Lotus. They pick up the win, but man, let me tell you, Gen G had us believing for a minute there that there was a possibility we could be going to overtime. I do want to get some quick thoughts though on that map because, yeah, I mean, you heard Coach Kaplan saying, you know,
I mean, they should come out swinging. I do wonder if you've built anything new on Icebox though.
Excellent prep work here.
I am
for them.
curious.
We got to see the attempted run back there from the side of Gen G, but I felt ultimately there was too much damage dealt early. That was the Gen G, those last couple rounds that we were coming into this series kind of expecting to see, so it feels like they started to get locked in, but just not being able to make that a 6-6 half, having that fairly devastating start, because I mean, you know, 7-5 overall not bad, but given how things had begun, it was a very poor showing.
I mean,
who's your most favorite NA caster? NA caster? Are Gen G a Sage Icebox? What? No, what? Stop spreading lies and rumors. Gen G has played nothing but the KO Gecko.
Yeah. Nothing.
Except for that one time that they took out the Jet for the Omen. And it was a disaster. I can't see a world where they're playing the Sage.
There's a lot more to it. Like Softy in particular is doing a great job on the base.
That's a sick replay.
Some important util.
That's amazing. Dude, Rob Moore stonks going up even more. That's a sick replay.
But but these two guys absolutely lit it up. You were seeing some highlights there from Zekken and what he was doing in that game. We were talking about when was Zekken going to be back in form. He definitely is here. It is.
So here's the funny thing, is that I actually think that Team Liquid comp is worth exploring further. I know it's never going to be a meta comp. It might need 1 or 2 tweaks, but I think that Omen comp is actually worth exploring, and I was actually so happy to see Gen G try it. I really think Gen G could pull that off, because the limits to the Jet Gecko KO have been shown time and time again. And I feel like the Jet Gecko KO eventually just devolves into like Sentinels just said, I'm having a brain freeze. Like Kaplan just said, it gets really scrappy. So I think the Omen actually adds more layers to it. But
taking that lead, Texture comes in, overtakes him, and then Zekken's able to capitalize and catch up at the very end.
Yeah, well, you know what though, Texture was just absolutely on fire in some of these rounds. That takes us to a HyperX replay.
Oh yeah, Mecha Break. That actually looks really fun. Is it free to play? Is Mecha Break free to play?
We're still hoping that Texture gets the ace.
Because here's the thing, I'm already thinking ahead to kind of what other content. So Chad, I think what I'm going to do is I do think I want to separate just like general gaming, like playthrough videos and just general gaming videos into a separate channel. We're like growing things without even, we're trying to run before we can even crawl. But I think on my current YouTube channel, I know a lot of you have come for Valorant, but I want to start to just do more content around like all sorts of esports titles. Not all sorts, but esports titles I'm interested in, and do like analysis or, you know, thoughts on them. So we'll probably start to put up like Stormgate videos on there.
And that could have been it too. I mean, he was frying. He was doing everything he could, but
oh, it's a free play test right now. Is it meant to be a free to play game?
You know, surprisingly, Karan and Meteor in particular really were struggling on that. Karan getting caught out a lot in moments that he typically doesn't. And this is kind of one of the things I was talking about, where sometimes you can pick on Karan when he's anchoring.
It looked pretty decent. I saw what's his face playing it, Shindigs.
Rounds off the back of that.
Yeah. Now, of course, this.
I don't think it's. Is it a gacha game?
Icebox, and if
I think it's just a third-person shooter, right? Dude, you know what third-person mech shooter was kind of fun? Was
this is Gen G's pick.
Wasn't there a Gundam one?
Sentinels, you know, play this, and when they did it,
Kilios and Paper Thin convinced me to try it, and I did, and it was actually pretty fun.
Same story for Gen G internationally, globally rather, I should say.
Yeah, it's a third-person mech Overwatch.
Across the year, and
it actually looks pretty good.
This is the map that they were able to close things out. They say, you
Does that mean we can get Chobra Dota after such a long time? Dude, I don't know about Dota. Dota's a little... Oof. Dota's too deep. I don't know if I could... Dota, I don't think... Dota's not a game that you can actually think that you can analyze it while doing other games. You know what I mean? Like that game, that Dota is, I think, if I ever had to pick a game where it's like this requires you to be 100% committed to it, like Dota would be the absolute shining example. So Sentinels is gonna go with the Sova. They're gonna take away the Gecko.
So Sentinel's throwing a little bit of a difference in there. Saucy going back to his Sova, the classic agent he's so well known for, has such impeccable timings on this.
I think this is actually...
You never know, man. Sentinels look great right now.
No, they really do. And one of the things that my eyes are very much going to...
It's really good.
Didn't get to really talk about too much,
the Sova KO, I think, generally counters how Gen G wants to play the KO Gecko. So Gen G's KO Gecko, in general, on the attack, right, you're playing with double flashes, you get in there, you dive onto the site, you plant, and then you're playing post-plant. You're holding angles, etc. What the Sova allows you to do is have a little bit more delay. It gets the retakes a little bit cleaner, and they've already burned their util. So you're relying on them dumping their util to get into the site on the attack, and then on the defense, you know, you can check if they've pushed out. So he's gone back and forth, I believe, but mostly he was still playing the... They were playing the same comps for most of the year, the Gecko KO.
Thank you so much, GB. Dre, I think one thing that stood out as we were listening to Kaplan talk was the immense
before we jump into the game, as for Overwatch competitor, dude, what's the name of that? What's the name of that anime girl third-person shooter thing, Valorant / anime shooter / Paper Mario game? That thing actually looks crazy. I do want to try it, but I think it's limited access.
It showed in the server of how SEN approached that entire map in the beginning, right? All the attack, it was, you know, the slow, methodical approach, not trying to give any kills.
Yeah, no, that thing looks insane. Anyway,
what stuck out to me in a 13-9 win, that's 4 rounds.
Okay.
That's 2 pistols that SEN won.
Gen G on the attack. Sentinels is going to pick defense.
Who can hit these shots right here?
Icebox very well. It might be a different story.
Wow.
A couple of sheriff shots already traded.
The util dump.
Texture.
Sen is ready for it, but 10's a little bit left on his island. Oof. Dude, if Texture had died there, that actually would have ruined the post plant. But the drone lets you basically push them further back. Genji's not a heavy lineup team.
They have the drone, they have the Viper wall, and they have a weakened Texture.
Genji has to start playing time a little bit.
He's not much better off.
Oh, Munchkin has a lineup,
Do you
though.
have any lineups? Do you have anything like that? No, no spits, nothing to speak of.
No, it's coming.
Not able to stick around.
Oh!
One Molly that they had.
Oh!
Saucy with 2 big ones. Munchkin left alone. Had the knife.
Oh
drops
no!
down, spots
Oh no!
one.
Oh no! Munchkin, you're
Saucy
panicking.
On the defuse, gotta get it to half. Pauses for
He wanted the
diffuser,
diffuser,
the defuse.
but he dropped.
It was blow for blow the entire round. A 3v3. But Saucy just turned up.
Stranova, that's the name.
Honestly,
Sheriff shots were so clean.
And honestly, that was a guy we didn't talk about a ton on Lotus. It was relatively quiet. I mean, yeah, we talked a lot about Texture and Munchkin and Zelsis, and for good reason.
Dude, oh my dude, that
Gosh, him and
dude, both those shots were actually crispy from Saucy.
These teams are so evenly matched, but it's another pistol the way of Sentinels. Texture, he will get a stinger purchased for him from one of his
Dude, yeah, they're trying to play aggressive. They're trying to up the tempo one extra beat. The stinger buy from Genji
It's not all safe.
over the Sheriff. I mean, this is the evolution of Genji, whether it works out or not. I mean, if it works, they go all the way to a trophy. If it doesn't, they get eliminated. That's how I see it. It's definitely not clean.
Just like he did on pistol, but second, he's so ready for it.
And if he continues to be able to get the best of Texture throughout the entire map, that's a really good sign again. But if it's not Texture, it's Meteor. If it's not Meteor, it's Munchkin. It's going to have to be Karon this time. Saucy looking for the target. Karon's
All right, well, damage already successful. He's wondering because if is it the wraparound?
You've got to have a decent
I mean, no health, dude.
Is 10 HP.
Just needs.
He's so weak,
He needs to land the insta headshot. Don't even go for another gun.
At the right range.
Oh my God, do you rotate?
He's gonna flip the map.
Oh my God, 40 seconds left. He's gonna rotate.
Taking the scenic route.
There's not gonna be anything to give this away.
Oh, at the
I mean, Zelsis has an inkling, but he's already through. But Zelsis, does he actually already cross?
Something is amok.
Well, the problem is he could be
Doesn't hear him.
back A main right now. There's no way to know where.
Doesn't hear him. He just has to sit in mid to make sure that he can get to it fast enough. Okay, do you push out? You push out, Karon. You push out. No? No, you push out, for sure. You do not hold yellow.
Now the gunfight begins.
100%. Oh, he's holding close. Oh, this makes me so nervous. Okay, well, now you don't push out because you don't have any options.
Step back. Zelsis continues to push forward. He has a turret. He has an alarm bot. But no real way to utilize either of those.
He's got so much to clear as well.
And I think part of the problem is Karon has no idea where Zelsis is
Oh, that turret.
So
You call the bluff. You call the bluff.
50-50.
Don't rush it.
Karon's on the swing. Can't hit the shot to 10 HP.
You had to call the bluff.
Also gives it away at the end.
There was no option.
Talk about a saving grace. Zelsis winning that 1v1. Meteor went nuclear on site.
I mean, the full wrap, I think, is too big of an effort. I think pushing into Snowman would have been a gamble worth taking, but it 100% would have been a gamble because you could get shot on the cross.
And how does he get this one?
I mean, you're only at 10 HP. It's so tough.
Getting shot too. This was big from Zelsis.
Doesn't matter how we did it. It's that we did it, baby.
The vibes are back. It's dangerous.
Nobody remembers how things play out at the end, right? I mean,
full armor though.
He's absolutely right. It doesn't have to be pretty as long as it works.
Absolutely. Now Genji with clear gun advantage. Going into this round, it's another A default. A nice tag
My God. They were looking for just body shots, it looks like, with the Sheriff and the Marshal together. That could have been dangerous.
Genji with no real intentions of the rest.
It doesn't actually clear it. I don't know if Genji's going to be aware of that. Well, now they're 100% aware of it.
Back and stay alive as Laki has pushed so far already.
He's in a deep mix of things right now. Oh, Hunter's Fury invested.
But they're only
Sen's matching.
left.
Sen's matching the power. They're matching the tempo. Genji's got to consider things a little bit again. Dude, 2 people at low health, Sheriff's in hand.
John and Saucy.
Can they settle this? Genji are playing so far up here. Munchkin has a knife too.
Dark tags. Oh, can't connect.
Genji doesn't play the Sage. What are we talking about?
As the wall goes down, John QT segmented off.
Oh, the screen doesn't stay up for long enough.
Saucy on the reposition. They've gotten it down to 1. Texture's weak. Can he find it? Down to 1v1. 7 bullets left. Saucy with the Sheriff.
Oh my god. Oh my.
Top and Saucy drops him. The 3K is Sentinels win the bonus. What was that?
Another big round from him. I was wondering why he was investing the Hunter's Fury with such a disadvantage, but they're so confident. At a level like this, it's those crazy plays that make the difference. Unexpected things that happen. And phenomenal execution.
I'm like, the more I think about the more I think about it, I am convinced that this is Genji trying to evolve, but it feels a little half-assed. Well, we'll see.
Light armor.
It feels a little half-assed.
But Sentinels did just show us it doesn't really matter the size of the gun in the fight. Second so far up, but he's been caught, he's been had, he's been found.
Okay, now they're going back to their tried and true. Clear it, deep lurk. You're going to hear the drone in mid. So you rotate, since you already have all the way up to pipes.
Kind of uncharacteristic.
Sentinels has no information, so they basically have to split. They're going to lean more towards B, just because the alarm bot hasn't popped. Now, Genji doesn't know the alarm bot is there, but they've been picking up the tempo, so they should be okay on this. Now you've been spotted. You have to run.
Calling the rotate back A.
Zelsis, I think, is going to do crazy damage here. Okay, the alarm bot's gone now, though. You know it's only one on the site. Sen's still concerned about the rotate, and Zelsis' positioning is so good. Now Sentinels is going to play retake, so don't use any more of your util. Just hold. Just get the plant down.
Spike should be able to go down. I don't know if there's anything that Sentinels have to deny this.
Okay. That's a very aggressive lockdown. Holy. I mean, if you're going to use the lockdown, I would love to see someone go on a rotate.
Seems like he's just going to try to get a parting gift. Even if he gets detained, he's got help. The problem is...
Okay, they're just going to fill... the screen doesn't stay up. It just feels half-assed because it feels like they're not used to it. It feels like they're not used to their own tempo. Like, trying to refill that after a lockdown? Sure, that's a cool idea, but where's the toxic screen? Why do you have to make footsteps? Like, what's going on here?
2 Vandals in the hands of Genji. Lakia 1 away from having his Thrash online. They're waiting for the swing, and there it is. Lakia down. Celsius will get it to half. Munchkin's by himself. Can he stop it? No.
Oh, that corner wrecks you.
These retakes from Sentinels are so good on A site so far. Complete control and patience in the approach, and then they're fighting together. I mean, it was a firing squad that everybody in that post plant had to deal with.
I mean, not going back to your old defaults, I think, is okay, but...
That spray would have connected, but it just wasn't quite
Chat,
there.
it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Big impact kill. A lone warrior on site, dipping out, making it even numbers after a great entry from Texture.
Thrash popped at the beginning of the round, clearing out a little bit of that B-long space. And then the knife, too, confirming where's that.
Okay, so you know the jet is here, which most likely means that operator is here.
Follow-up from the side of Gen G, so Zekin can hold his ground.
So you have to all in.
Yeah, but I don't think they wanted that. I think they wanted to find where Zekin was and then hit the other side of the map. The problem is that may be part of Sentinel's plan. They've got so much more utility out towards A.
Okay, good flash. Oh, okay. Good that he doesn't commit to it.
And so they've gotten out onto A. They should be able to get the spike down. I thought it might go over to Karam because he was on the way.
If you're not going to fight, you got to send someone on the rotate. It's a 5v4. You got to send someone on the flank. You only have one molly. This isn't going to... I mean, it's not going to feel great. Yes, they have an op, but...
Not far off behind him. Again, these post plants that you mentioned, they've been so effective for Sentinels, but they're at a numbers disadvantage here. Can they convert again?
Oh my goodness.
That's such an aggressive lockdown. They've got to
time it out, man. We got to time it out.
Tens pushing forward, just the threat, just the distraction, getting the kill too. Lockie and Karen left alone, and it's another round the way of Sentinels.
The retakes of Sentinels. Need I say more? It's too good. That's 5.
I mean, this is exactly how Madrid ended, by the way. Is Gen G just kept util dumping and trying to go into A, and Sen just retook every time and then started winning every fight.
And they're trying to swing together, but that aggressive lockdown, it created too much chaos.
The thing is that's the tough thing about A site, right? A site is about wait, fight. The problem is the retake shouldn't be this easy. The retake shouldn't be this easy. You should be able to hold them off for longer. You should be putting yourselves in position to be able to either push screens a little bit, pressure heaven a little bit, make sure that they can't use the util. The problem, I'll tell you what the problem is that if it was a Gecko KO, if Sentinels is still playing the Gecko KO, the positions they take for the retake are much simpler and easier to read. It's much closer to the entrance, but with the Sova, the retake can now start from further back. So Gen G's trying to respect that. They want to just empty it, but then like you gotta have someone on the floor. You gotta pressure something somewhere. It's not like you have every single molly left over either.
Change the tides in positions like this. I think the one problem is this might be the most important timeout Gen G will call.
I mean, I think blaming the Icebox pick now is a little hindsight Harry. I wouldn't blame them on that, because here's the thing: the chance of Sen having brushed up, because their Haven shouldn't have been that bad. So out of the remaining maps, I mean, you don't really like playing the bind. You've changed a little bit of your tempo. I don't think that's. I mean, result-wise, it's looking bad so far, but I don't think you can be like, wow, like they're dumb for doing that. I don't know if it's really dumb. I think it's just a stylistic choice.
Together as a unit and be cohesive in the post plan.
I think Solo's just frustrated. I think HSK is just trying to comfort him. But yeah, keep mid control. Just have someone to pressure mid. Like we gotta use the map a bit more, because Sen's playing retake. They're looking to delay you with an early kill, and then they're playing retake, and now Sentinels fills the site because of the timeout. They're ahead of us. They're ahead of us.
I mean, they just continue to crumble. It's just Texture and Munchkin left. You were just talking about how this has been successful for them. If you think about the equation for Gen G, this part has been fine. They've been able to get into post plan
Here
position,
come the darts.
The post plans this time.
Saw one. You are spotted. You just have to fight, though. You don't really have any options.
It's not over yet, though. The wraparound from Texture.
Huge.
3 to the round.
You know the ops on screens.
The ever elusive Ace will have to deliver here if he wants to get Gen G on the board.
Saw him.
He's getting it down to 1, and there it is.
Thank you. Dude, 100 and whatever days.
Gen G are on the board.
Nearly 6 months.
Stepping up in moments like this. The runner, the forefront. He's been getting entries all map long. But an ace from your star duelist.
Texture just needed all his teammates to be dead so he can get the ace.
All of a sudden, the team has energy and life in them. But can you string more rounds
together? The biggest block to Texture's ace was always going to be his teammates.
This time a bit of a different look, for as much as they've been slamming their heads into the wall of A.
Okay, now they're playing. They're starting to try to get reads on this, right? They're starting to get the read that Sen might push out. Sen does take the orb, so Saucy's one away from the Hunter's Fury.
He was upping B the last 3 rounds. This time he wants in the mix. He wants in the
Okay, you checked yellow. The op's not there. You heard the orb. You have to be prepared for pipes.
Deal with a lot here, and it looks like Gen G
right? You have to be prepared for a forward op. There's the flash. Chasing through. Oh, do not greet it. Stop. Stop right here.
Second switches to the classic, tries to get away.
Okay, well, you hear the reload. You definitely go for that.
2 kills found.
That's unfortunate.
Trying to punch back, grabs the op. Can he wield it the same way?
Sen goes for this.
This one's just too hard, Doug. Surely, with the Viper's Pit
Oh, Gen G, are we going to go for a wraparound? No, not this time. Feeling no need. They have an op.
And they've got money.
Oh, a little bit of a chip damage right there.
Make a play.
Oof.
Oh, traded right back though.
Yep, nice coverage from up top. Now you save the op for sure if you're Sen.
Gen G will get their second, and again, it wasn't an ace, but it was Texture setting the pace.
I think Sentinel, they were okay with trying for it once, but you know, in a 4v2 now you save.
And in a lot of ways, Dre, this feels really reminiscent to what we saw in Lotus. Was the score not 5-1 before things turned?
Yeah, after a timeout.
I too. Okay, let's buckle down, Gen G.
Gen G really put things together. And it seems like they're doing it.
You know the op stayed alive.
He dashed onto Zekin after Zekin whipped that off shot. He just ran him down.
There's a good chance that Sentinels might just wait somewhere else, the op on B, and then sneak back into yellow. Yeah, once it comes in. I guess he's just gonna peek. But either way, the op on B, I would have expected that. I would have wondered if they would go the extra mile to kind of mask it, but they're not going to. And so now Gen G is just going to get the read. They're not going to use the 0 point on it. They have full faith. They just want to know if it's a forward push or not. And then they're going to look to punish the rotates. A bit of a miss.
They will be matched by a turret.
Remember, they've been throwing the Smolly over the top 2 to clear it. I'm surprised they didn't try that here. It doesn't matter.
Very fast, though. So you're trying to get ahead of it. You're trying to basically trap them because you know the retake's starting further back. You know that they're holding further back. Gen G is trying to punish them, the ones who are trying to stagger out of A. The adjustments are coming through.
Beautifully escapes. He tries to get away. John QT has to clear this. And there was no
So now you have to save again.
That's a gorgeous call from Gen G.
That was unreal. What a beautiful, beautiful set play. The walk through mid.
Okay, let's
They have to save again.
let's not give the null command for free. Let's not do that.
Gen G. At what point do Sentinels call their own timeout?
They could call it in this next round. But if that's the case, so you just pressured mid though, right? So now you know that there's going to have to be extra pressure here. You probably start sending the molly. I think that it was very intentional that they don't go for the molly here because they're pretty convinced that this is a pace that Sentinels isn't going to expect, so you go for the pinch. But now you go for the molly, clear the turret, and that should secure someone from Sentinels stuck on mid. In which case, if I'm Gen G, I go A again with a late flank through mid this time.
Sentinels will call a timeout. Give us a moment to discuss things.
But because of the timeout, I mean, maybe you check B. I mean, at the very least, you could always go back to the 0 point onto yellow to see if the op is on B or not.
That was such a beautiful call.
Very high IQ play. You're 100% right. If that turret gets broken early on,
somebody has
to pick it up.
Exactly.
You shift over a player at B.
The ace is textures. That's what that fan sign says.
Still 3 players towards B. I mean, that's a wonderful
Dude, I can't play with rotating minimaps, man. How do people do it?
1 kill. But his calling right now is phenomenal. And what a comeback into this half off the ace of texture.
Very similar to what we saw in Lotus. 2 rounds now between these 2 Titans.
It's kind of insane, like Sentinels, with the way that they won all of those rounds in the retake scenarios and whatnot. Their economy has lasted 3.
Do we go for the molly on mid? I would love for this turret to be broken, because otherwise that previous round doesn't mean too much.
Finally put Sen on an eco, perhaps. Such an uphill battle that Gen G had to climb.
Yeah, I mean, I get the logic. I don't know. That always throws me off, but I guess it's partly also because obviously if you're casting, you're always watching of a certain orientation. So Sen's just playing mostly around mid, so they can just quickly rotate. That's their adjustment. We'll see if Gen G gets a read on that.
Absolutely right. Rent-free. Absolutely rent-free.
But they're waiting. They're waiting to see if a push-out happens because it's been a timeout. I'm okay with that. You're holding your util. Wait until the 0 point comes back. Oh, he just used it. Never mind.
And this is Munchkin's highlight of IGLing. His changes of
Only
pace.
the Viper is tagged on purpose.
The pace in the first 5 rounds,
and then they're going to refill it. But the drone is going to let you know.
Now a very, very slow approach. But there's 4 members of Sen here, and that Viper's Pit is infested as well. You kind of have to flip sight in this moment.
Really? You're going to destroy all of that and then lockdown. Okay. Oh, dude, the tags. But here's the thing. Oh, Hunter's Fury, though. Wait, but that's so much util taken out. You don't really have the time and leisure to rotate away.
They realize that
You do have to commit. You have to plant safe, which means you have to fight. Oh, actually, the wingman's just going to do it. Wow. And, dude, look at Lockia's position. That's going to be huge. I think he's out on a pocket. Yeah.
He's so far back. You're absolutely right. Lockie is tucked.
They should be aware of this possibility. Yeah. No, you have to check that. That's ruined so many people.
They still have this pit up. They're still gonna have to find a
Dude, the
way
reposition from Texture. What a heads-up play, man. Oh, doesn't want to make it obvious.
Anyway, the tap, the spam, the 4th round for Gen.G.
That is an unbelievable round to win for Gen.G.
Huge, but the lockdown actually, them investing so much to destroy the lockdown is actually the downfall here of Sentinels. I was actually surprised. I would have imagined that they just kind of back off and then go for the retake. You still have the pit. But it's just it's also just a great post plant, yeah. Texture repositions and then he's still covered. This is huge.
All that space back sight. It gives his team the information that
Texture's like actually roaring now.
In the Viper's pit. No one
was like losing his voice, man.
And it's such a risky play.
And now you go B, right? Because why? Because there's no op. So you go B, you check, there's even nobody yellow. So you're just going to go for that. Meteor's just going to hold, see if there's a push out. You hear the recon boat, so he's actually just saying, okay, guys, like they are pushing out for sure. The alarm bot's broken now, like they are 100% pushing out. We go B, which means we dig deeper in because eventually you're going to have to ditch green. It's a good call all around. That is not great.
Is still there.
Not sure how that happened.
I mean, they were just so decisive on the hit.
No screen is a little rough.
Backside, only finding one, but a valuable one at that. Now
they have a rifle. They have a rifle now.
Heroic in these first couple of rounds, but SEN's gone quiet. Looking to deliver again against Munchkin and Meteor.
This position is so ballsy.
Now he might get double swung though.
There's no way anybody clears this. Not in a position.
Oh, and he's tucked in.
Beautiful positioning for Meteor.
Oh my God! Why are we doing this?
6 bullets left. Munchkin's Molly's gonna
okay, time. Just play for time, Munchkin. There you go. All right.
The clock continues to tick away. The spike continues to go off. It will expire as Gen.G has tied us up at 5. Unreal.
What was it that Zelsis said? Doesn't matter how you win, we won it. And their economy is flourishing, so they're chilling with
that Viper ult from Rafters. I actually really like it. It oftentimes forces rotates, but the thing is
identifying that Sentinels have
I think, especially because you had Silva ult and stuff, like I don't think you needed to break the Killjoy ult, right?
And they take fights, these long-range fights towards B.
But
they didn't expect the likes of the Vandal of Zekin in the beginning, and it being picked up from Tens as well.
And now they hit B again because you have Thrash.
This approach from Gen.G.
It's good.
Sentinels have bought into this again. Light armor.
Full push. All clear. Texture's already ahead of it. Look at how fast Texture is. He's very far ahead constantly. 1, 2, 3. Swing out on the util. I don't know if he was spotted. He wasn't.
No targets found.
They're not quite aware. The double swing with Karon, but I don't like that position from Texture. Karon and Texture basically, but this is their evolution, so I'll accept it. But they don't have a backup plan.
And it's a threat. It's a tap. It's a bait. They've got to do something to try to dissuade and try to distract some of what
they're still buying a lot of time.
But they've been pushed so far back. Gen.G cannot find an opening. They cannot find a way in. Sentinels punch
Do you watch CS esports? I used to. Not as much anymore. I just don't have the time for it. There's so much CS too.
And they look
but every now and then I'll have a little fun tuning in.
I mean, we sung the praises of the retake so much. I'm not really surprised.
I mean, the problem here was that I think Texture was meant to just hide here for as long as possible, but what happens is Karon's in a really bad position next to Orange where he gets snake-bited, so he has to push out. So instead of just letting him die, they decide, okay, let's go for the double swing.
Sentinels, they're wishing for a 7th round here.
But I don't think it was always meant to be a double swing.
Lockdown, Hunter's Fury.
Okay, the push out.
To close
you suspect this for sure.
Texture popped his blades.
And right now, Gen.G, all signs leading towards another B default. But Sen aren't buying it. They hear that jet smoke. Second, he's been
You have to check Nest. This is the only place you haven't checked that they could be in.
Just set Munchkin up to go get the Orb B, to have his ult online for this round.
Take flight. Ults don't matter when you
The
have
drone.
KO ultimate available.
Dude, the drone fake. This is huge.
Should know that. That might be a free kill. It's just so tough to land
Uh-oh.
that away. Jets! But he finds Lakia. There's still a lot of threat from the attack here, though. They're not out of the woodworks
Okay,
yet.
Meteor going through.
Oh, Meteor swinging into his death. I thought he had the timing on him, but he did not. Munchkin cannot do it on his own. Zekin asks for it. Sentinels get 7.
I mean, you kind of spent too much time. You were waiting to have a timing to push in. This one's on Saucy. Saucy plays this round really well. Saucy plays this round. His timings to constantly deny any potential pinch onto Zekin is huge, right? The late dart pushes him away. You hear this jet smoke, and then you wait, and then you drone keeps them away. You get the tag. And then you Hunter's Fury. Like, it was actually really, it was overall a really good round from Saucy. I would say he carried that round 100%. Nah, dude. They can win pistols in the next map. It'll be fine. Don't worry. I mean, a comeback's 100% possible. We'll see how good Sentinels is about how aggressive Gen G tries to re-clear space. I mean, they're starting to look a bit better. It's not as clean. But the thing is at the end of the day, trying to play a bit pacier is never going to be as clean. It's a matter of, do you keep up the pressure enough that you're able to, you know, overwhelm them? Yeah, the vibes on Sen are much better. Lakia looks way too deep in thought. He's got to chill. Meteor's got to tell him to chill.
2 rounds separating these 2 squads. Elimination on the line. We've talked about the stakes, and we're going to talk about them again. Because this is the year for both of these
Fallen
squads.
was hitting some shots yesterday? What? Really?
Either you punch it to
Fallen.
the playoffs to the big
Jeez.
dance where you're in top 8 and you're still in pursuit of the hardware, or you go home and
Okay.
long off season to think on.
And not only making the playoffs, but
If Sentinels wins this, I think they should be carefully reintroduced into the conversation.
their own right this year.
Not as like favorites, but like I don't think you can roll your eyes just because a Sen fan is like, oh, I think they can actually go far again. I think they can go far if they win this.
In 2024.
Yeah, I think they would be a very. I mean, it's kind of weird to. Listen. Here's the thing: is that I actually had a lot of faith that Sen was going to look better coming into this. Obviously, they stuck with the Cypher Lock in the opening match against Gen G, but I think if you write that off, I think they do look a lot better coming into Champions. So I don't know if I would call them a dark horse, but
And what an entry from Texture.
What a beautiful setup. The flash, the dart, everything was there.
the aggression is the name of the game for Gen G today. Look at how fast they've already pinched mid as well.
Sentinels deciding that they still want to try to hit this site with Zekin up close. Munchkin getting the best of 10s, but Texture only finding another. They're weak though. 22 HP on Zekin. Meteor and Karan still remain for Gen G. There's a lot of time left in this round. They can slow things
Can the
down.
stream's audio be louder?
Instill ult. Well, that wasn't quiet.
Does everyone want it to be louder?
Into the minds of Gen G.
I might have not raised it back to the same level it was because I lowered it during the break.
And look at how their approach is so similar from both sides.
I can't
Just
change the
group up,
game's volume,
play
but
together, push
I
together.
can change the stream's volume, obviously.
Not even really interested in the orb. They want to find the timing. They want to capitalize on it. Attempting to clear out any utility that might have been there, and there is none because Meteor went for.
Okay, but a full push through.
Yeah, and that dart will be seen.
There's a
on the
very
mini-map
big
from the side of
likelihood
Gen G,
that
so now
this
they have
makes it
good
a
idea.
2v1, so I like this from Gen G.
And remember,
Because there's no way that
sitting low.
Sentinels
Yeah,
is
Saucy's got to be careful here. He's
pushing
the
out.
healthy one. He finds his one.
Well, now Saucy can focus
But
on it
can
potentially
the
being a
rookie
1v1.
deliver for
They
Gen
are
G?
weak.
He spotted
Spots
the
one.
cape, betraying him twice.
I think he saw him. I think Saucy also saw.
Yeah, I was wondering if Saucy saw him because now Zekin's watching back as well.
Again, both targets weak.
Oh, he has no idea where Zekin is though.
We'll drop him, but that's now 4 pistols in a row. The way of Sentinels.
And last time around, Doug, Saucy was on the Gecko. This time, he's on Sova. He's known for it. And he looks so comfortable. He's 14 and 7.
Dude, Saucy is making a world of a difference in this map on so many rounds.
That trade, by the way, of Zekin.
They don't need to force.
Texture was unbelievable. That was so much impact.
I actually
right
want
there.
them to just like not buy. Well, I don't know. The Sheriffs.
To connect a headshot in a moment like that when you're doing a 180.
3 Sheriffs.
Insane.
As it goes.
Winning 1 pistol to winning all 4.
Denying that orb. Dude, Sentinels is playing very well. They not only have a good read on Gen G's Icebox overall, but they have a good read on how Gen G's been playing today.
But it's a Guardian shoved down his throat. The gun difference here for Sentinel, so nice. There's really no way for Gen G to put up a resistance. They don't have the weaponry. They don't have the health. They don't have the personnel.
Spike planted.
Karen's gonna get his 1, but again, Zekin closes the round as Sentinels get to 9.
Very decisive anti-eco from Sen. Just full sending it A.
Okay, they're probably going to use their util again to deny the orb. So you just let that happen.
Dropping the smoke on himself. Everybody else, the supporting cast of Sentinels just spamming away.
Still wait on pipes.
One way Zekin dies in that moment. And it's
have someone watching
that smoke.
Cat.
It's a pretty healthy buy right now from Sen. They didn't drop.
Yeah, don't overcommit though. Sen are gonna go for a mid push. This is very smart from Sen. A nice early mid push. This is actually ridiculously smart from Sentinels. See how Gen G reacts. Karen is gonna watch out for it. Karen's gonna make the call. That's actually draws everybody out. Dude, the Sentinels, they have the hard read on the overreactions. But Gen G can play retake on A with a double.
Look at that, a 1-for-1. Zelsis takes
double flashes. Guys.
This is a dangerous fight.
4 members taking a fight against Zelsis. That's full information relayed.
Texture so weak. But he somehow stays alive and somehow cleans up 10.
I actually like that Texture goes in there with low health.
But of course, it's Saucy.
You just want to see if you get.
He's been so stalwart. He's been so successful here. And on the international stage again, trying to drag Sentinels across the finish line. Meteor's left in a 1v2, and Saucy gets another.
Dude, we can actually hear Zelsis shouting through the caster mics. That's so crazy.
Saucy has been lights out this entire map. We keep praising his name.
17 and 7 is absurd.
And he almost has another Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, no, dude, Saucy's making a world of a difference. The Silva is so good against the way the Gen G plays the KO Gecko.
Those shots on the Zelsis right away. It brought him low enough. But just cold.
You know, coming into this weekend, I was a little worried. I kept saying I think Sentinels has a really good shot. Like, I favor Gen G, but I think Sentinels has a really good shot. I think EDG does too. I think that one I favor Paperix more than I actually favor Gen G, just because of stylistic matchups.
But this time, cautious now. 56 HP.
But I mean, we'll see. It's not over yet.
One of only 2 that are standing up is Lakia.
I mean, you had to commit to it.
Finds his 1. They're dealing a lot of damage here, but as soon as there's a window for Gen G, Sentinels slam it. How in the world does Meteor do this? Can he be a spark? Can he be magic? Both targets found.
I mean, the previous round it was a 2v2. It wasn't so much them going in 1 by 1. But this is what I mean. I think it's a conscious decision to play more aggressive, but it does feel like they're a little out of sync. It does feel like they're not comfortable in their own skin.
It's been so quick. It's like they implemented
but I would also say, I would also give credit where credit is due, that Sentinels is always ready for the next fight. Like, they are locked in.
Gen G on their defense are trying to fight Sentinels, and it's just not going their way. When center on point, when they're dialed in, they have some of the most cracked aimers in the world.
Different look early on. Sentinels again with a lean towards A.
What hurts more, this? There was no.
Exactly where they're headed. That tag is gonna get 2. Munchkin gets his 1 though. Lakia trying to stay alive, has to take a step back as John looks to settle the shots, and it's Meteor who wins it out. Can Texture claw them back into this?
What is going on?
A 1v3. Locky is weak, yes. But so is Zelsis. And he's outnumbered here. Meteor gets the 3, Gen G gets 6.
This hurts more just because, guys, there was no world where Paper X was beating G2.
Getting a collat tag.
I thought he was going to get
I'm just going to say that.
But the movement, the finesse and backside. Texture finding a window of opportunity. Lakia seeing a barrel, a glimpse of something.
I didn't even think it was a barrel. It might have just been the effects of the gun.
Meteor going huge as well in screens.
Okay, so you got the op. Right? You're going to constantly set up aggressively for it, and you're playing to delay on B.
In that round, it was Meteor. Texture still has the op.
Charon's playing very aggressively. He used to struggle with this in the beginning of the year.
Different look from Sentinels.
They haven't played it a lot recently. We'll see how he does. Oh, actually gets the tag.
Saucy is truly in a flow state right now.
Dude, yeah, how does he get that tag?
They didn't even see him.
There's a lot of the defense here, including Texture and his op.
Yeah, Texture wants blood.
Fast rotate from Texture, though. And then you have mid. The only thing is Locky has to recognize that you are playing for retake on A at this point. Like, you're going to try to re-clear it with Munchkin. That's fine. This is very aggressive, though. So this, listen, Sen has prepped. So Sen knows that, hey, if they get curious, they're going to have to re-clear this, right? It's either they push out there or here.
Look at the mini-map.
Right? That's the goal.
Time. It's a free B site right now.
And then now they just say, okay, they still haven't pushed. Let's triple peek. The triple peek is insane.
Locky and Munchkin with 2 ults.
But it's a good read from Sen. Now, Gen G doesn't push out. They use the op to their advantage. They don't push out. So it's Gen G also not falling entirely to the bait. But
down, trying to turn the flash, succeeds, but dies. Now numbers still the way of Sentinels. With the spike down, John QT looks to get away. A couple of parting shots, his threats as Lakia falls. Munchkin on his own.
Dude, Sen's just not backing off from any single fight. You see that?
A 1v1. Can Munchkin deliver?
Zelsis just has to hide.
The biggest 1v1 of his career. The tap, there, the swing, but Zelsis walks out on top.
Match point. Holy crap. But yeah, I mean, listen, I said that as well, right? If they get rid of the Cypher Lock, I think Sentinels looks a lot better. I think it's actually, I think it's very unfair that a lot of people were writing off Sentinels completely just because they've been so solid when they were good, right? Like, the way they won Madrid wasn't a fluke. It was just really good Valorant. So as soon as they catch up to the meta, they should be good. And quite frankly, I think them ditching the Cypher Lock gets them far enough. I don't know if they're a favorite to win, but
no info was gathered towards B. The spots that Sentinels were hiding at.
No, I don't think Shanghai was a fluke.
I don't blame
I mean, no, Sentinels was bad during stage 1 and 2. This is true. They played poorly, but it was more a result. It always felt more like they couldn't figure out how to catch up rather than they're just bad now. You know what I mean? Like, team, like for instance, Fnatic had such good fundamentals. They don't make it, you know, they don't get the triple crown at Champions. Then they look a little rocky, but no one should be out there being like, wow, Fnatic's washed now. Like, they're a bad team. It's like, no, as soon as they just figure out the meta or what their style of the meta is, like, they'll be good against because this team and these players understand how the fundamental version of Valorant works. And I think that's what I'm trying to say is that these teams, Sentinels, you know, same thing with Heretics, Fnatic, Gen G, like all these teams, at their core, they just have a really solid understanding of Valorant.
The way of Sentinels. They've got everything they could possibly want. Remember, on Lotus, they got to the 1-yard line, and then Gen G put together a ferocious comeback.
I mean, Gen G's in panic mode right now, and they're going to push out from Cat, and Sen reads this. Texture just needs to hold.
Sentinels are wise to
okay, no tag. You have to know this is weird because your turret has no tag either. This is a good read from Gen G. So there's no tag on the Dizzy, but there's also been no tag on the turret. So it's like, and the alarm bot. So you're like, okay, this is a trap. They're waiting for me to push out. It's a good read from Gen G. But you can't just aggressively re-clear because first of all you don't have the weapons for it, and second of all you realize that Sen's been reading that. So now you just have to hope that Sentinels But at this point, what I would love to see then is now you have to start considering playing for time, right? Don't try to play for the retake. Play for delay.
Mid now, there was a dagger used.
Now they're going to go for a late re-clear. It does feel like they are...
The hour has struck. Can he arrive? No!
It feels like they weren't as comfortable with their own evolution. I like the idea of evolving. It's something they did all year, if you think back. It's what got them all the way to the trophy at Shanghai, but...
Hopes and dreams of a year potentially falling short right now. Yes, they raised the trophy in Shanghai. But it would have been so much sweeter to do so in front of a home crowd.
Oh,
but now,
it's over, chat.
Rocky and Munchkin doing their best to keep this thing up, to keep it competitive.
No
They're gonna
time.
have to navigate the pit. Every single member crumbling. Tonight, Soul burns red.
Damn.
Sentinels survive.
I mean, mega well played from Sentinels. I mean, this is a heart crusher for Gen G. This is...
It feels like Sen always take the hard route.
This is a heart crusher.
And this one was really, really tough. What a fight from Gen G. But it was Sen besting Gen G on the maps that they bested them in the final the last time around. Closing it out on Icebox.
Heartbreak for Gen G.
I mean, listen, all the people who are hating on Sen deserves an apology. All it took was getting rid of the Cypher lock. And a lot of us said that, but a lot of the other guys said that Sen were done for.
And so Gen G bow for the last
Little
time
did we know that texture was Chovy. Gen G just can't. They just can't escape it.
By Sentinels. Again, the only two teams that have tasted international glory this year. But it's Sentinels who come out on top.
I mean,
nothing but love between the two
in
players.
some way, though, I wouldn't have it any other way, man.
A lot of respect.
Oh, a ton. From the coaching
A rejuvenated Sentinels coming back and eliminating Gen G. If you were going to get eliminated, I'm cool with that. Dude, the shoes are nice, by the way.
What a performance, man.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, also, it's been a tough year for sure for Gen G.
FPX. Once this team gets momentum, they're full steam forward, full train ahead. They're an unbelievably...
Yeah, he just did the Gangnam Style dance.
Well, the thing is,
it's like the only song he knows, I think, in K-pop. Yeah, Gen G should have won against Heretics, but Heretics came back rejuvenated as well. This is what happens when you have a target on your back. And the thing is I would love to see if they ever talk about this in the off season. I would love to see if Gen G ever talks about this. It would have to be after a while, I think, but I do. The more I think about it, I'm like convinced that Gen G was trying to reinvent themselves just a little bit, just like they did after Madrid, just like they did during Shanghai. And they weren't comfortable enough with it, right? It was just too rough. Gen G doesn't need a roster change, but they always could. I mean, listen, roster changes don't always happen because you need it. Sometimes you just think you have a better option. I mean, I can't think of any right off the top of my head, just because, again, I don't think it's any one person on this team. Did some people have weaker games today and against Heretics? Absolutely, but you know, you look at the whole year and you look at who shows up when. I would say there are people who I think, like Meteor, I think continues to be that guy. Like if I'm as great as Texture is, if I'm picking one guy, it's Meteor. But
that first map truly came down to that. A 13-9.
Yeah, dude. I mean, nobody has stayed at the top for the whole year, right? In Valorant still. So that continues. It just goes to show. Gen G looks like they were in the best position to do so, and we're all proven wrong. It is sick that they do the... listen, I mean, how do you... I don't know. I think the players on this team are so likable. You can say whatever you want about the brand and the social media and the fans, but... I mean, the fans are a little unbearable, but...
Thank you.
센티넬의 제켄 선수 인터뷰 만나보겠습니다.
Dude, Zekken's voice always throws me off. His voice is so deep.
센티넬이 승리를 하게 됐습니다. 오늘 경기 승리 소감부터 들어보도록 하겠습니다. This was your second game against Gen G, and you took it home this time. How was it the second time around?
It was amazing. Thankfully, we
got it pretty clean, 2-0 instead of a 5-map series, but we're just really happy to get the win.
오늘 아주 깔끔한 2대0 경기를 가져가게 돼서 너무 좋고요.
No, I mean,
사실 다섯 번째 맵까지
Gen G's year should not be tainted by this. It sucks because it's so early in the tournament, but
중요한 순간마다
like Gen G has had an incredible year. They've set records for Pacific for sure.
그때보다 계속해서 촘촘해지고 있었던 아이스박스였는데 오늘 맵픽 보고 좀 어떤 식으로 접근을 해서 승리를 가져가게 된 건지 물어보도록 하겠습니다. You know, you've met Gen G on Icebox and they've been improving. Like their Icebox is known to be flawless. But so when you saw the map pick today, what was your game plan?
Our game plan was just to hopefully shoot better, win on the aim duels. Icebox is such a aim duel heavy map, so usually whoever is feeling it more tends to win. So we just came in with a lot of energy and tried to win all our fights.
You know what's really funny is that the way
doing it again, right?
The way they were playing in that Icebox felt like how Gen G played against Paper X in the kickoff finals. I could feel Kaplan telling the boys before the game, just always be ready to fight again. Like you could just feel that the way they were shooting.
피하고 싶은 팀 한번 물어보고 싶네요. You're off to the playoffs, but you'll find out your opponent at the draw tomorrow. So I want to ask, who do you want to meet the most, and who do you want to avoid the most?
I don't really have anyone I want to play or don't want to play. I'm just excited to play whatever the strongest team is possible. I just want to play the best.
Oh, the strongest.
Damn.
Whatever comes your way. 누굴 만나는지 사실 그렇게 뭔가 선호하거나 그런 건 없고 그냥 강한 팀을 만나서 이기고 싶다고 합니다. 센티넬의 제켄 선수 인터뷰 만나봤습니다. That was Sentinel's second, and we'll be back after the break to see Fanatics and crew.
Oh man. I mean, it's a rough one, but I mean, it isn't. Here's the thing: is that it is an upset, but as long as they gave up on the deadlock, I think it was always going to be a very, very plausible upset. And I think you absolutely give full credit to Sentinels. But I do think, listen, Gen G looks very uncharacteristic, but not just to make excuses for themselves. I mean, it's not an excuse, right? You tried and you failed, right? You tried to get ahead of it and you weren't able to. But I am pretty convinced that Gen G was trying to add just another layer, right? Just subtly change their style again to catch people off guard, and they weren't that comfortable. And also, it's not different enough, right? The whole idea of, hey, just always be ready for a trade. The thing is the way Gen G tried to evolve with a little bit faster tempo, the advice of always be ready to fight again doesn't change, right? So if Heretics and Sentinels both come into the match with that idea, and then, you know, a couple of rounds you realize like Gen G's way ahead of you, then you just adjust when you want to fight, but you're still ready for the fight. So I think it's a mix of both things. So it's still good prep from Sentinels. I'm not saying that Gen G just flopped, but I'm not trying to excuse Gen G, but I do think that it's not just like, oh, they were just all over the place. Like, I think they were trying to evolve because they know that that's the only way that you're going to win a championship. Because everyone's looking to counter you, and then they just didn't look that comfortable. Well, in Madrid, I think it was much more nerves. Here, and experience, but here I think it was them trying to renew themselves a little bit, and it's just not that comfortable. Yo, Anders. Yeah, I'm not nervous at all for Fnatic. Listen, I was mildly cautious about Gen G, which is, I think that's why I'm not crying. I'm like, this isn't like a shocker to me. I still think it's an upset, but it's not a shocker to me. Their mental definitely suffered. I mean, it also, like, against Heretics as well, it seemed like they were kind of out of it, right? Whether it's like the stage stuff or just overall their health and their physical condition. But hey, if you want to be a champion, you gotta have you gotta be able to maintain yourselves, right? So it stinks. There's not much more to say to it. Sen came prepared. I mean, Sen came prepared. Sen came prepared for Scene came prepared for the different versions of Gen G as well, right? You'll notice that they were ready for the fast re-clears. They were ready for the util dump. Also, that icebox pick was, I mean, it's rough. I think Sen saw it coming. The Silva saucy change was actually giga-brained. You think DRX looked head and shoulders better than them after the first games? After, oh, you mean better than Gen G? Like, based on their games so far here? Yeah, I would say so. I would agree. I mean, not winning a single pistol round also does hurt. Is there any hope for Pacific left? Yeah. There's always the RXs. We can always rely on them to get top 6. I agree that DRX looks excellent. I'm not willing to put them into their favorites category because it's just so recent. It could be. They could be if it's a consistent upswing. But you know what I mean? Like it's just started to click, so like I don't know if I would say that. Yeah. But I do think, here's the thing, is that I think them going to all the way to the grand finals of Pacific actually gave them so much room to grow. But yeah, with DRX, it's like, I want them to do well, but I think it would be a little disingenuous to be like, oh, I think they're favorites now. I think they're a very, very strong candidate. If they, you know, with a disclaimer, like if they keep it up. But, what is this poster, man? Also, like, don't these thorns just look like such a, is this intentionally bad Photoshop? Like, what's going on here?
Completely understandable. That was honestly an incredible showing from Sentinels, but man, I did not see that coming at all. Not like that.
I think unfortunately around the half is when we saw it coming. It was looking all right. We had that ace from Texture. It's like, okay, there's some good moments happening here. That's when Texture's going to get...
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on... I think some people maybe even just consider, like, compositional changes as part of Anti. Obviously, from a coaching perspective, that's a little different, but... Well, listen, I'm gonna be very honest, this game ended a lot earlier than I thought, so there's actually a little bit of time for me, but I can't stick around for the whole match here for Fnatic and crew. So we probably will not follow this, so I'll send you guys over somewhere here. Who do we want to, is everybody all just doing everything? Is that what's going on?
They did a lot of things way better than Gen G. I mean, yeah, you could look at that game and say, okay, Gen G made a lot of mistakes or didn't do the X, Y, Z, and they did. And
here, we'll send you over to, okay, since America's just won. No, since America's just won, we're gonna give respect to the best region in the world. And yeah, and send you over to Sean Garris. That's exactly what we're gonna do. All right, chat. All right, we all have to go in and bow down to the greatest region in Valorant. All right, chat. Thank you so much for joining. I do appreciate it. I mean, it sucks, but hey, we'll be back tomorrow. I'm signing off early because I have to help around the house a little bit with my wife, and then I have to make that video for Paper X and EDG tomorrow as well. So that should be fun. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys can just chill and watch Fnatic absolutely crush crew. Right, Anders? With the power of Anders behind them. As the powers that be will tell you, Fnatic will be moving on to the playoffs. So hope you guys enjoy that moment. And I will see you all tomorrow for the Paper X watch party. See you guys then.
Let's go! Yo, Will, thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, bro. Are you out there, by the way? Are you in Koreas?
Back in an interesting position here, Achilleos.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a time capsule, I think, and man, would it be wild if crew could do it again. Then the stage is set.
Here in Seoul, but not the event. Okay, I got you. Dude, holy fuck. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Whew. Redemption page. Redemption, click refund. Gotcha.
Now, you've spoken about this in the past, losing to Crew at Champs 2021 keeps you up at night, so I've heard, you know, the nightmares that it gave you. So talk me through what that was like, how much you've grown as a player since then, and how much of today's, I guess, rematch is about redemption.
Yeah, when it comes to the big losses in these big international tournaments, it's a tough one to bite, especially at night time. I can't sleep. But today, I'm full trust in my boys, full confidence. Win or lose, like, we're just going to go out there and we're going to give it our all. I believe that we can win. I'm very confident in that, and that's what we have to just keep going by and just playing together. We know how good we can be. It's just, let's show up today and show everyone else how good we can be too.
What about facing Kesnet again?
Yeah, Kesnet, I remember him on Haven. That's why I picked Haven this time, because we got Alfia now. And I think Alfia will be a nice challenge for him, for sure, especially on whatever Asian Alfia plays.
All right, thank you very much, Bosa. Good luck today.
We got a little bit of a spoiler on that one for the map draft, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, let's actually reflect on that DRX Fnatic game, because